Jazz. The Xfinity Sports Zone, your home base for sports. Butler in his 10th year at Marquette. Makes one, misses one. 5 too early. Does a bucket by Bogdanovich. You're early for Utah. Bogdanovich on a nice move inside, double pumps. Olynyk stays on the floor. Here's Bogey. Shot clock at 5. Resets. Shot clock at 3. Takes the 3. It's up. Skips off the iron. The rebound. Pulled by Bryant.
Nice defense there by Miami. They stand on their feet. Goes down the Jazz and take shots at the end of the shot clock.
Offensive rebound. No one blocked out, and Butler scores. 5-point advantage in Salt Lake City for the visiting Heat. And Quinn Snyder wants a timeout. 7:48 left. Miami 7, Utah 2.
So the first one's in and the last one's out. For every case of proper number 12 we sell, $5 go to first responders. Up to $1 million per year. Here's to the proper heroes. Proper number 12, Irish whiskey.
Just ordered on the subway app. And it's ready to go with contactless curbside.
Hey, I still have that jar.
Turkey sub and a hot tub. Now get 15% off any footload when you order in the app.
That's a food offering.
The Hyundai Elantra was named the 2021 North American Car of the Year. Winning the industry's most prestigious awards is a pretty big deal, so we're going big with the celebration too. At the Hyundai Big Deal event, you'll get huge deals on our entire lineup of cars and SUVs, including the award-winning Elantra. So hurry in today, because this celebration is just too big to miss.
Get 0.9% APR for 60 months on the 2021 Elantra, or get up to $1,000 in total savings. Only at your Utah Hyundai dealer.
There's the history that has been made, and there's the history in the making. There are the people who broke barriers and glass ceilings, and there are the people ready to build upon those legacies, to follow in those footsteps. Indeed, proudly supports those first steps, because we know they won't be the last.
continuously getting plays. I think that's something that, we need to drive off of. And I think the best part about it is we don't really care who it is. I think that's what separates us from a lot of top teams. And that's what's going to hopefully get us to that next step is it matters if me, it matters if it's, Joe, it matters if JC, Mike. With Mike being out, guys, it's definitely, the roles are definitely changing a little bit, but we're stepping our game up. But I think that's the best thing about the team. It doesn't matter who it is, we're going to go out there and continue to find those men and play the right way.
Yes, it has been really impressive to see that. I mean, when you hear those numbers, when you saw what they did last night and how many of the guys got involved on the action, really incredible watching this team and what they're doing.
Well, right now, the Jazz have hit a slump in this back-to-back tee. Scoreless on 8 of their first 9 possessions. There's a pass inside. Adebayo trying to find Butler, and we got a whistle and a foul. Jimmy will shoot a couple up the line.
Well, the problem for the Jazz right now is on this end. It's on the defensive end. You cannot let guys
well, I'm assuming maybe it's getting close to time to for the banquet or the supper or whatever.
This is going to change rotations for Quinn. 2 quick fouls on Mitchell. Savers will check in. Clarkson.
Maybe we could ask our guard if they're hungry and if we should go grab a bite to eat.
So Kothar is there with
Miller makes again 1 of 2. Eagles front court to Royce. Here's Clarkson.
They're simply waiting for you to
Zero,
decide
trying to
what
force the ball out of Jordan Clarkson's hand.
Through a quick double
I'm just
right at the 3-point line. Here's
Kothar, would you like to
out to Bogey.
get some sustenance?
They switch Bam on. The ball comes
even
loose.
like
Thought it
look
was
out there
Kirk,
kind
and
of
they play
lizard
on.
like
Marveo. A pass. It's out of bounds.
Yeah, the Jazz right now
Let us feast.
to half-court offense
and
because
if
they
you
haven't
guys
really
will call
created anything else on the
back
defensive end to get
through the
going at their
halls,
pace and knock down
this
some
room,
early
which
threes.
was where the banquet hall basically
Nice lockdown low for the finish. Derek last night did not miss a shot. They rolled 5 for 5, 10 points, 6 rebounds.
Yeah, definitely Mr.
Perfect.
When it comes to catching that ball.
and you do see that they are sort of finishing up here. There's the long table in the middle there, a bunch of benches.
Solid 3-point shooter,
Some
third
lizard
year
folk
out of
are
Michigan,
coming and
40%
going.
from
You see some
downtown.
dishes and whatnot being brought
Yeah,
out.
he's a
One
guy
of
that
them
could
looks
get going
strange,
early. As Joe misses
annoyed
one
in
deep.
shape.
But Duncan Robinson,
Colors wrong.
last 10 games, he's only shot
Large.
33% from 3. First 15, he
Bit
was shooting
of meat.
44%.
Which you guys helped cook, by the
Beautiful.
way.
Pass it up top.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler.
they're just going about their business.
Well, I guess we.
We talked about quick starts. It's Miami tonight on the road
So
at
you guys
13-4.
work well together.
Clarkson gives it a run. The Jazz have started 0 for 6 from 3 and 2 of 9 overall.
Yeah. You know what? Sure, why not? We'll say that about the time that
Being very
Gargano and
meticulous.
Myra make their way into the home. You all are finishing up helping to cook, and you're now helping to bring the dishes.
Stood his ground. Ingles now collides. No call again. Royce.
Yeah, that works. You
Gets
each
it
are
back to
laden with
Ingles.
like, yeah,
Bogey
you
follows
each
up
got
the
like a
miss. The ball
pot
poked
or
away.
some
Bogey.
sort of
Right
like
place.
other kind of
Right
dish,
time bucket.
meat thing or whatnot.
And 2 hoops for Boyan early.
That's why coaches always tell you, follow your shot.
Once
That
again,
time
here.
Bogey shot a 3
And it feels so good.
gonna be in. Got a nice easy one, right place, right time.
Olenek.
Sorry, what is that?
Bam jumps it up. Reaching out. Boyan on rebounds. Jazz down 13-6. Just past the 5-minute mark. And Boyan again. He's got something here. He's going to the rim and scoring 3 buckets early, 6 points.
Yeah, it was also a reward for great defense.
It
That's
looks
So how was the hooligan?
notice right away, Myra, since you know a little bit about Civilian, but
Got a
because it's been
timeout on the floor. The Jazz struggling from 3, 0 for 7, but Boyan
greenish hue.
getting the job done early. He has scored 6 of the Jazz 8 points to start this one in SLC.
And kind of chopped up a bit too, so you know it's hard to fully see. But after Shari points it out, you see very clearly this is cooked and braised.
Ah!
Escape the previews with a $5 nacho fries box. Run to Taco Bell. The power of 3 is everywhere, but you've never seen it like this. Now with Xfinity Internet, you can also save on wireless and streaming. Get internet that's packed with power, and up to $300 in savings with
So
Xfinity Mobile.
if you guys
Plus,
want,
stream
you
your
are
favorites with
invited
Flex
to
4K
join
box
the
included.
deal.
It's 3
do
ways
not
to get
see
more and save more, starting with Xfinity Internet.
or her advisors or anyone here in this
Get
banquet hall.
started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months and get a Flex 4K box for free. Plus, save hundreds when you add
You
Xfinity
see a
Mobile.
large
Switch
number of
today.
folk. I'm not going to bother to move all the area here, but a large number come and go. It seems like this meal is less like a formal thing and just more like people come, take a little bit, and go, and then another.
Enough all-wheel drive fueled courage to bravely go where others just
The general populace.
Here's President's Day
See a
sale.
bunch of different
Release the
faces.
2021 K5 LXS for $179 a month.
Tiny little packages, tagging along.
Today I'm gonna show you how to install a smart outdoor
a bite
camera.
to eat.
First,
Things like
grab
that.
you one of these right here.
Towards the nursery.
Then get rid of the
Anything
instructions.
you guys would like to do?
Next, have Vivian come install your entire smart security system for you, so you can focus on more important things.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Like
You're welcome to tuck in. There's different types of
Vivid,
conventional
smart security,
also harvested
professionally installed.
from swamps and surrounding areas. There's of course the braised Sahuagin, as well as a couple other meats.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by University of Utah Health, the #1 growing hospital in Utah by U.S. News now for 2 years straight. Will T, the homestand will
Well,
end with a battle with the
you don't have to tell a dwarf twice.
They did lose tonight to Phoenix by 21-11.
You gonna take some of the Sahuagin
You look at
then,
his
Bishar?
numbers, Joel Embiid, nearly 30
You're taking
a
some of
night,
the Sahuagin?
11 rebounds and over
Okay, yeah.
a block and a half a night. So far this homestand, win-win against Boston, Milwaukee. Tonight a slow start. The Heat have won 4 in a row, and then Monday, Philly 18-9, but losing 2 straight, including tonight.
Yeah, well, I think overall Doc Rivers has Philly
Okay.
really ruled. Embiid, a very improved player, but you know, obviously the Jazz have to take care of business tonight. You talked about a slow start. Jazz haven't been able to play it
All right, I think
at
this
the
goes
pace that they wanted to, just because the defense hasn't been
to see
like
if
they
you can
wanted to,
pull
and
it
they need to
off.
really control the tempo. There's an opportunity right
You know
here.
what? Your choice. Whichever you think, or whichever one you're better at, or whichever one you
Lays
think
it
you're
in.
better at.
So Joe Ingles on the board for the first
See
time.
how well
His career
your
high last
show
night with 27.
to the lizard folk goes over.
Adebayo is out, and we see the rookie for the first time, Precious Achiuwa, out of Memphis, the 20th pick taken, ACC Player of the Year and the Freshman of the Year.
Bastrop is actually here
Precious
nearby.
cut and go
Notice
inside,
it's
ball
doing
blocked
this.
out of there by Royce, and again, the runner,
Nod with
and
the
Boyan, who's been driving to the rim
actually
early,
comes up
will
to
be at the line to shoot a pair.
pats you on the
Right
back
here,
with
this
his
has
long,
been rare.
skilled
Great
hand.
defense.
Says to you,
Joe Ingles
yes, we eat the flesh.
going at his pace.
Needs to become
Take care
stronger.
of business on the other end. Jazz need to see a lot more of those. Great defense, Royce O'Neal. Nice strip right there.
Tyler Hero picked up the foul. He's been in and out.
You pull it off pretty
with
well.
health safety protocol.
They seem to be buying
But
it.
he
Bastrop in
cleared
particular
and
is
is on
enamored
the
by
floor tonight. Boyan makes the first of 2.
Tell you what, a healthy Tyler Hero
if
is
you
a
do
problem.
take an actual bite, though,
Can
Bishar,
be a
you
problem.
and Myra,
You know, he
partake of some
coming in
of
as a
this.
rookie, he was NBA prepared, NBA ready.
It's not
We saw
great.
a lot of that
It's
in
not
the
super
bubble
great.
last season.
Gonna need Constitution saving throws from anyone who actually decides to use the Sahuagin.
Yeah, what a name. And he was a big hero in those playoffs. In the bubble, rebound fade, and quick clear to Clarkson.
Sure. You rolled so well on the deception. I'll give you
Found
that.
at the
20.
last minute and changed.
Yeah, how that
13,
stops.
okay.
Well, that's really what the Jazz's primary
So
concern is.
10 is what you needed. So you're good. You're all right. You managed this. You just needed a 10. You're able to stomach it. Again, it's not the best. It's very gamey. It's like the worst kind of fishy
Joe loses that. You
taste.
know, we talk so much about
really
the Jazz
strong,
scores, but this man right
which
here,
normally wouldn't be too bad for you guys, but it's also a little bit acrid and bitter.
didn't score a
But
point yesterday,
lizard
but
folks seem to enjoy it.
10 rebounds and just played some amazing, probably some of the best defense of the year against Giannis Antetokounmpo.
This is true. This is like the worst
He's
kind
having
of fishy.
fun. He was a guy that came out of Baylor, worked so hard. He didn't make this roster, and now find himself a starter.
Yeah, and all of his teammates really
Yeah,
appreciated
yeah, Gargane, did you partake?
Donovan in particular said he came in there
I did not partake, but I do have a spell called Purify Food and Water.
Miami. He said it was another level of workout and focus. He's
No, I'm good. I'm just gonna eat some pour.
like everyone is on
Okay,
this casting this
pull
year.
off
Like
a
chip
little
on his shoulder.
chunk of pork.
Also, Christian and Thorough, I think that's another word called hungry. Hungry, however you want to use it, but
I'm just gonna be like, yep, wasn't trying that. I'm gonna eat my pour. Bacon.
Shari, similarly, get some approving looks from the lizard folk.
Mignoni checks in, I should say, as Niang pushes up a shot.
What about the rest of you?
Just fires.
Doing anything else here?
I'm really surprised to see Jordan out there running as well as he is after that ankle that got turned last night. Here's Jimmy Butler in the paint. Shut down.
Dude, what about the drinks?
Puts his shoulder down.
I want to test out their beverages.
Yeah, sure. So they've got some strange looking
Well, they're all
bits
these
of,
numbers
I think
intriguing.
might be a
You look
wall,
at defense, the Heat
possibly.
top 10, number
It's
8,
sort
in
of
fact, the Jazz at
a
number 4.
purplish color
Yep.
that you see
Restricted
most of
area,
the
the
lizard folk
opponent field
drinking,
goal
aside
percentage,
from
the
just
Jazz
like
are second, so they
mugs of
protect
water,
that rim.
things like that.
I'm gonna try me some of that. Some of that moonshine you got over there.
Alrighty. So you were past one of these goblets. They don't really tell you what it is.
You look at teams that are ranked that way when they play
Take
each
a
other.
big
Usually
gulp.
a low scoring
Give
game,
me a Constitution
right, because
saving
of
throw.
that. But
I
luckily
think
for
you
the
actually
Jazz,
have
they're in the top
advantage
5
on this
also,
because
they're
you're a
number 4
dwarf.
in offense, but we
I
have
think.
yet really to see that.
Well, Clarkson just put up a 3. He's 0 for 2. The Jazz overall.
Oh.
Okay, so it doesn't matter that you have yeah.
Whistled on me. Jimmy Butler back to the free throw line. Well, he had the triple-double in Houston with 27, 10, and 10, but he also got 11 times, made
Okay.
10.
So this particular thin wine made from a berry in the swamp happens to be poisonous to most other creatures besides lizard folk. You get a really bad stomachache, the kind that like turns you over in your seat and you lose the boar that you just ate. All over the ground. You get some dirty looks from lizard folk around, like what's going on? What's up? What's the dwarf? Causing a scene here. You don't take like any actual damage, but man, you feel awful for basically the rest of the
Should have used purified food and water.
Maybe.
Donovan doing a nice job of coming right in, picking up where he left off. Nice 3. He has to be really careful as well, Bowler.
Beisha will happily
really be eyeing him. He's got 2 fouls, and they'd rather not have them in the game.
Jimmy Butler out.
Sort of a mop like.
Adebayo back on the floor. Donovan trying to
Easy enough to
toss
clean
in
up.
another bucket. That time
I'm wiping my mouth with my beard afterwards, like.
In your beard. Ew. Oh, and it's gonna stink for like. It's gonna just. Oh. But it's easy enough for you to clean up this dwarf. You get a couple of grateful looks from some of the lower ranking lizard folk.
To the Utah quarterback,
Normally
making the difference. That's Bill Ford proud.
How about Rudy last night? 27 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. Maybe the biggest stat of all, as you watch Robinson hammer home a 3, was he knocked down 9 of 13 from the free throw line. Donovan Mitchell on a drive inside, one of the foul.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think
Yeah. Your pronunciation's a little, but they seem to perk up anytime someone sees that coming out of your mouth. It's like the same thing as if you went to like China or something. You spoke fluent, whatever their native language was. Sort of a thing.
I'll like in between try heaves, I'll try and help her out, but it's like.
It ends up making the process go a little bit longer as you use a little bit more, but you manage to clean it up.
talks about George Niang, you're right. He turned that ankle over yesterday. Glad it wasn't as severe as it looked.
What does Varys think of all this?
He's kind of sitting over here in the corner.
Varys, the ever stoic observer. I love it.
That would have been special.
Well, the Jazz
The no-nonsense elf.
They're a big story. Just 8% on 1 of 12. They get 7 from Bogey. Jimmy Butler drops 6.
That's true. There's got to be at least one, stoic elf who's going to just...
I bring balance to the floor.
Those land elves are so stuck up.
and lie down and
This
rest
has got the steak
a little
and the sizzle.
since he is not feeling too well at this moment.
When you mention that, Kothar actually says to you, "Yes, it is getting late after all.
Yeah, this might keep me out of your time.
In the
The
Trump
Queen is
game,
not instructed us
greatness is
to mention
defined
back
by
in
a
the
relentless
sense.
commitment to
I
the
suppose we
customer,
can find
forged
some
over
amendments.
decades, built by a team
rest
resolute
of the
in helping
bearings.
you
Would
achieve
that be
your
acceptable?
dreams. Experience this award-winning
Yes,
lineup
very,
today.
very,
Ford
yeah.
F-Series,
Co-op,
America's best-selling
one,
truck for
yeah, thank
44
you,
years
yes.
straight.
Yeah.
Now with additional Trade Assist cash on Ranger, get $6,500 total cash back. But hurry, offer ends February 16th.
Okay. Putting away dishes, all that sort of stuff.
And give you something to celebrate.
Sounds good. Fantastic. So we're gonna say, so this is, there's several different barracks. We're gonna say that it's not too far from the entrance we first came into here, but Kothar leads Jardine and Maya right here. There's several mats and mattresses like, on the ground over here, but you're able to help Gardain over to one of them where, if he so chooses,
Yes.
Alrighty.
I will head back to the kitchen as well to help with the
Possible side
training.
effects include muscle
Okay.
and joint pain.
Fantastic.
Celebrate less risk.
Kothar figures that
Talk to your
base
doctor
rent
about added
a
protection
lot
with the safer.
watch over Gardain. But yeah,
The first quarter game summary.
it takes a little while. You know, you spend maybe half an hour to an hour helping out, cleaning, maybe doing some dishes, cleaning some pots and stuff, things like that. But everything sort of settles out, and it looks like most of the Blizzard players are pretty improved, except for those maybe.
Before we get to that point,
Yeah, sure.
before we get to that point, when I come back, I'm gonna ask Aisha
This quarter to be a
some
lot
of
better,
the
really get
headsets
aggressive.
for the meal. And as I go about helping them
That is
clean up,
my
I will try
rebound.
to take a moment to taste them and say, oh, thanks, this is delicious.
In his 17th year, picks up the
Yeah, to
foul.
just thank them a little bit and then continue.
Andre,
to-
37. That's quite
Sure.
a
I
Just
am
run
really
team.
switching this language, guys.
Yeah.
I am switching.
Would you like to make it up to it while you're doing it?
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
I
I'm
think it's-
speaking Cantonese right now.
And I love it. I think it works great with your comics. So you go to your heart's content with it. Yeah, they're again, they perk up at hearing their own language. If you want, you can roll a little charisma roll, just to see how that goes over.
No coverage on the baseline, and Tony and Lou kind of look at one another, and the bucket by
Just
Kent
straight
Nunn.
charisma, not one of the secrets. Just see how charming you are in general to them.
You can't see
Okay,
ball
so
in man.
that 11 isn't bad.
Yeah.
It goes over fairly well. Nothing too
Three
crazy.
first two, he was over 3 in the first quarter.
And the shots look good. I mean, it had a nice baby look. And
Trying
sometimes
to
when you
recover for that
you
girl
have
incident.
an injury that he had, no, he's not 100%, but he's just trying to feel his way out on the court.
So, are you heading to bed then, or are you wanting to stay up and do something else? What would you guys like to do? As it looks like the rest of the layers sort of
From Donovan to Clarkson, up and in. Jordan scores his
Maybe
first
after
two.
this draft there is
He
anything
went
else
41
that
minutes
needs
last night, Pete. 25 points, 4 threes.
Okay. So if you ask Beisra that, she'll turn to you.
Put the brakes on him.
Big battle for the rebound. That ball comes out of the hands of Clarkson. And that second effort gives another opportunity and Nunn takes advantage. And a couple of quick hoops here in the second. 29-22 Miami.
I'm not going to lie, Beisra. That kind of gives me anxiety.
On the wing
But
for
if you
three.
think it's best for us to do that,
I'm sorry, that's the game plan you want to play.
She sort of looks at you, kind of tilts her head
Guys
in
have other guys
a
that can knock it down too.
almost confused way, almost as if she doesn't quite understand.
Wing.
And T, I was just going to say,
Anxious
down.
about this. Why?
Adebayo with the buck. He was 2 of 7 in the first
because
quarter.
I feel like we've gone up on the point like a bit ago when we came,
Oh, beautiful move.
and it was not our intention to
Hang time.
for him to be
College
always the
football.
King's decision.
He is learning second year out of Yale. Fights. And he'll jump it.
A lot of times when you have two fouls like Donovan, a little shy to go strong to the basket, but that time, right at the end of it, he messes it up. But right here, this jump off, Miaoni says, I'm not letting this thing go. Let's jump it up.
In that case, I trust you with your judgment of your team that he is wise and just, and I will not worry anymore.
She nods.
Thank
Always
you.
worked hard too to get some playing
Bye.
time. When opportunities come,
I'm not gonna try to speak Cantonese. Back to you.
really showing his
I
defensive ability.
figure we
Clarkson
can
throws
get
it
that
back out. They rotate
I
it
don't,
onto
I'm
wing
good with
back,
that,
shoot
but it's
three,
up to
wing
you
goes
guys if
up.
you want to do something else.
Clarkson rebounds, gets it back to Mitchell, and hammers it home. What a play. Clarkson, I thought was going
So if
up
there's
with
no
it.
objections, the rest of you are able to find shooting max here. There's quite a few other losers in this particular barracks with you, mostly soldiers. Some of them in the middle of the night, you assume some of them heading off on patrols or guard duty and things like that. But generally, it's a fairly quiet and secure place. Safety of the neutral player. But yeah, get the benefit of long rest, you get down.
That means I can recover
Spell
from
slots.
that.
I forgot about the eel biting you. That's right, yeah.
Start.
An eel took a huge bite out of me.
And state-of-the-art strength equipment takes you further. Nordic Track connects you with active personal training.
I was a little thing. Didn't want to tell you.
Why am I so calm right now? Because this isn't a sky thriller. This is a Nissan Sentra I have.
So, as you guys sleep, Gardane.
It's almost too easy.
Entirely up to you. So the way that I see it, so it's more of a trance, but yeah, it's kind of like meditating a little bit. Here's the thing, elves can sleep if they want. It is entirely up to you, it's that you don't have to, right? You can choose instead. Yeah, like, so you can either just keep meditating. I mean, you could try to wake up and do something, but everybody else is asleep, sort of thing. It's really... Or again, like I said, there's nothing that says that you can't just choose to go to sleep if you want to, right? It's just that you don't need to. All you really need is the trance that you do as an elf.
Donovan Mitchell with 9 points and a couple of buckets here.
So,
in the second
Dark
quarter.
Game.
It's time now for the
In the
ultimate
night,
good-hand replay. And team, you see Mitchell take
you
the
are
shot.
visited with a
Clarkson
dream.
rebounds it, and we both thought, hey, he's going
A
up.
strange vision comes to your eyes.
And the big hammer thrown down by Donovan.
It feels like you're flying
Well, as you say, that
over a vast
know where your teammate is.
The water sparkles beneath you. You see in the distance what appears to be the outline of a small island.
31-29, Miami.
And hanging above it,
It's
a
scored on
symbol
5
you know
straight
very
possessions.
well,
Let's see if they can get
upright
another stop.
mace over a single leather boot trimmed with fur.
Ah.
The hero.
And that is all you see before waking up.
Max Strus out of Paul.
As you wake up, you are
Undrafted.
greeted by your
First minutes on the floor.
chaperone,
Donovan foul.
who once again
Going nowhere.
bids you
It's
to
up that
follow
foul.
them to the Queen's Island.
That's the beauty of this Jazz team. You see,
24-hour period having been expired. Is there anything you'd like to do or
the
say
beauty of this
before
Jazz team is they can
following
play
them
in
to meet
different
the
ways.
Queen?
Well, you know, the defense
Yes.
really is the anchor. But if it's at another pace, they find a way to stay aggressive.
Sure, why not? They'll let you grab like a link of sausage or something to hawk down real quick before running around. Ouch.
I'm going to get the because I still have the broad king spear, and so I'm just gonna be like, oh, my friend said that, you know, you guys were collecting some weapons. Will this be of use to you?
So, if I remember correctly, it's just a spear, right?
Just a spear, yeah.
There was nothing really particularly. It wasn't like magical or anything, right?
Nope, just a spear.
The helmet was.
So, technically, you don't have that with you at the moment because you don't have basically any of your gear or weapons.
You know
So,
what? Never mind.
so they are.
Yeah. Struz knocks the 3 down.
I forgot about that.
So if there's nothing else, though, they lead you down through the halls, back towards the audience chamber.
I think as we're walking to the audience chamber, I would just be like, man, that was a crazy drink. Like, I'm pretty sure Muhammad came to me in my dreams, told me about going to some island or something. I don't know if it was the drink or he's trying to tell me something. I'm pretty sure it's an omen.
I'm gonna like pat Dardan on the head. Yes. Unfortunately, hallucinations like that are quite intense sometimes, and then just carry on.
I'm just gonna be like silent and contemplative the rest of the time, thinking about that dream.
You also see Mr. Sarah, as well as what appears to be another one of her advisors. Who was here with her previously. On the other side, you again see the large beasts and heads surrounded by the walls. Various aquatic animals like that. Enter both Aishra and Philippa and take up just guard posts on either side of the great doors leading into the hall. And
Can you do that?
what?
Just ignore the
Who
chat.
are you inflicting wounds on?
I'm looking up my spell. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
You did it in chat. That means it happened. Who are you attacking? All hell's about to break loose.
It was a good roll though. Maybe I should roll with it.
Maybe you should just suddenly Dimitri turns on Beishra and Pandemonium breaks loose. But so you all stand before the Queen here in her audience chamber, and she stares at you in silence for like a good 5 minutes. No one in the entire room is speaking. None of her advisors. You see a couple nervous looks from Sarah, the elderly lizard folk you spoke with before. Irthos, her other advisor, seems to be giving you each stares that are filled with daggers, just looking into your souls. But after these few minutes pass, the Queen finally does speak. She says, I have much
Oh.
Tell me, what have you to say for your interactions with my people?
I like your
She sort of looks at you quizzically and kind of, she says, almost as if she doesn't quite understand what the word means. She says, cute? Almost as if that's maybe not a word used very often amongst lizard folk. Like, might not fully understand what you mean. What exactly?
I think
She's
things have great potential for this company, and I am happy I am getting a chance to interact with them. They seem like they would be great warriors, hunters, and
This is what cute means. Yes, I must write this down. Like she's still gaining a grasp of common. She's not as fluent as Sarov is, if you'll remember. She's better than most of the others, like Beishra and whatnot. But yeah, she thinks that that's what cute means now. But she turns to you though, and she says, "Yes, they have great potential. I've heard of your time spent with them. Many of the young ones seemed fond."
Help your kids stay active and
She
meet new friends by
continues to stare at each of you, expecting to hear more.
Junior Jams is made possible by our generous sponsors.
It seems like you're gathering strong allies here. But it seems like some that came to see you was not going to join no matter what.
You speak of the Coalim?
I do, Your Majesty.
My minister has informed me that he spoke to you, told you of our plight. We had hoped the Coalim would lend their strength. They are a proud warrior race, after all. Nevertheless, those negotiations failed.
Thank you for supporting the fight against cancer.
It is unfortunate. It seems like they were going to fail no matter what, though. It seems like they were just waiting for the slightest provocation.
I do not claim to know their minds. What is done is done.
But otherwise, it seems like you have a good coalition of forces here.
I got one of their kills. Very excited.
So the queen kind of turns to her advisors, and you see them sort of whispering a little bit to where you can't hear exactly what they're saying. And after a moment, she turns back to you. She says, "Sarov here would have me trust you, would have me use you as ambassadors to your home. Yet disagrees, thinks that no good will come of it. What use will mostly land dwellers be against so again in the waters deep? What say you to this in our plight? Would you lend us your aid? Would you get your Saltmarsh
You have to.
to assist?"
Who turned the TV on? That's a big old TV too.
I would say we cannot speak for the town council of Saltmarsh itself. However, we can allow that meeting to happen or the word to be passed for them to make that determination.
So Gardain, when you say that, Sarov actually now steps forward a little bit. The old man, he's got his little walking cane, and he says, "Well,
Every team has,
actually,
or should have, a guy
like
who
to
is the
know
epitome of toughness.
you consider
And
this, my
Marshall
friend.
Hill is that and more.
So
This
you're
is
not
how
dangerous,
well,
right?
rarely an
If we
outcome.
are not successful,
Jimmy Butler was
I
able to
fear
slide
once they are done here with us,
past
they will no
O'Neal,
doubt
fade
continue
there,
to
but
expand,
Terry picks up his second.
threaten your home.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's really clever when it comes to drawing
We
contact.
can see that there's definitely a plight here, and we can try to lend our aid as much as we can. We cannot speak for the Council of Saltmarsh, but we can give they listen to us and they trust us, and we can lend our weight towards their aid for your efforts as well.
So the queen then pipes in, so you would speak for us then?
We have seen while our time here that you are not the enemy we are looking for, and we would lend our aid as well.
Okay, Gardane. So Gardane, give me a persuasion roll. I'm gonna allow advantage since you're being supported by your friends who've piped in a little bit too. So go ahead and give me just a persuasion roll with advantage. Ooh, you rolled 20. Nice. Very well done. Okay. So you see the queen's countenance soften a little bit. She was very rigid and stiff-backed, and it's almost like she relaxes just a tiny bit at your words. And she says, I wish to trust you. It's true, we need all the aid we can get in Austria. But I am still hesitant. And she turns once again to her advisors and they speak a little bit. You hear just a tiny little bit of what Sarov says in her ear.
Talk about toughness. There's a guy who's loaded as well.
Yes. And after a moment, you see her kind of perk up.
Not a bad landing.
Yes, Sarah.
You can tell that shook those bones a little bit.
It has come to my attention that you all appear to be fighters, warriors of some type, spellcasters, yes.
Back to another Olympic. Joe rattles one out.
Perhaps you could set my mind at ease by assisting us with a problem that has perplexed us for some time.
And that sent him into a tumble.
When we were forced from our home,
takes a deep breath.
We retreated here to this old abandoned stronghold of the lizard folk.
There's still
It was an
missing a little bit too,
appropriate place,
so
and we adapted well to it. We found in the swamps not far from here a large, gigantic crocodile which prowled the swamps. Now we who worship Semwanya saw this as a good omen, as they are sacred beasts in the worships of Semwanya. And so we picked no mind. In fact, we cherished its presence. However, recently, aggressive, 3 members of the troll around the area where it lives were attacked suddenly, unprovoked, by the beast alive. Since that time, several others have fallen victim to the beast. We cannot kill it, for it is sacred. But if outsiders such as you were to deal with the beast, it would not break the taboo. This is a dangerous request. The beast is powerful, and the path through the swamp to where it lairs is riddled with various monsters and beasts.
Instead of really taking
But
that
if you
hit,
were to perform
we
this
saw him
task,
extend that left hand sometimes.
you would have my gratitude.
He's taking a hit, he's going to the line.
I would say we would need all of our equipment, all of our weapons and equipment in order to accomplish such a task.
The queen looks to you, Gardane, and says, of course! And she waves her hands, and you see 2 of the guards leave. You assume, perhaps, to go fetch your gear for you. Do you accept, then?
Well, group.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I accept.
A ticking noise, you say? No. Though it does seem rather fond of eating hands. I found it strange.
as well.
Wizards have
You see a
had to
Linux
get
scoot
really
to the
good at
right
making
there,
prosthetics, mostly hooks.
Like hooks. Yeah.
right into that Olympic wall.
Those are good prosthetics when holding a hand.
That's canon now. You've seen several lizard folk in the area who just are missing hands. That's canon now.
That's what I like about Bogu's game. Saw that 11 points.
Just because I think it's fun.
Left become bitch yet, but he finds other ways to do it.
Perfect.
Defensive end.
After a few minutes, you see the two guards who had left return, along with a couple other lizard folk, because it's quite a bit of gear that they took from you. And they haul back in here and bring you back your packs, your weapons, and all your effects, which have been confiscated from you when you were first apprehended here.
And then we attack the queen. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Let's roll initiative.
You fool! This was my plan the whole time.
What'd you say, Sherry? It seems like everything, if you guys look through it, it seems like everything's there. Nothing seems unaccounted for.
Adebayo, 8 points and 5 rebounds in this first half. Nearly lost it. Donovan picks it up.
Actually.
Bogdanovich ahead of time. 8 on the shot, down to 7 drives. Ball deflected, picked up by Joe.
The queen looks at you and says, I believe we can provide you one. Yes.
And now the runner to the rim by Robinson.
Such a one would not be a warrior. And they would not be able to assist you in fighting the beast.
Getting an opportunity to work on a break or those kind of turnovers by the Jazz, those miscues.
And we don't fall on any quicksand.
8 turnovers by the Jazz. Donovan with a Euro step inside. And Donovan gets a hand up.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you guys want to do here?
Like with the queen or just in the stronghold in general?
Either.
I'll step forward and be like, I also require my sidekick, the little kobold.
They ran away. We told them to run away.
Oh, never mind. Gosh, thought I wasn't there.
Yeah. You might have that one.
So you don't say that?
I don't say that. I didn't know he was in the stronghold.
As far as you know, him and Oceanus ran away.
Okay, never mind.
I would like to see if there's like some sort of armor or something, because all of mine got melted. So.
Oh yeah.
So you get a replacement shield from your friend.
Right.
But your weapon, I believe, and your armor.
Armor also. Yeah, because I was wearing my armor, and I got coated, so I had chainmail.
So basically, yeah.
Do they have any simple weapons?
If I recall. So yeah, they have tons of different weapons that you can choose from, especially with the shipments that they've been getting. And if you inquire, they tell you as much. They want to make sure that you're properly equipped. They don't really have replacement armor for what you're dealing with. If I remember right, I ruled that both your mace and your armor basically are getting a -1 because of the acid damage. I mean, you're dealing 1 less damage with your mace.
Yeah.
And you're dealing 1 less, and you have -1 your armor class because of the armor not being as sound as it was before. But they're both still usable.
Okay.
For the time being. But you can definitely get a replacement mace from them if you want to try to persuade them to let you have one.
Sure, I'd like to barter for like a mace and maybe just some rations, but not like any of the drink or the sahu again.
So that's easy enough for you to do. You can make the request. Give me a persuasion roll. We'll see how that goes over. 14? Yeah, not bad. They're sending you on an important quest, and they see that as being important enough. You get a replacement mace. It's not as nice as the one that you had before, but the statistics are the same game-wise, sort of a thing. So you have a replacement mace.
Awesome.
And no longer taking the penalty for that.
Perfect.
Hey, you guys, are you doing anything else? Are you heading on the road? What do you want to do?
Balanced scoring by Miami.
Just making sure
Duncan
everything's
Robinson
packing,
with a
packing place.
Jimmy Butler 6. Coming up, stats and highlights on the Mark
I'm
Miller
good to go.
Subaru halftime report. Utah's only negotiation-free
I want blood.
Subaru
Good
retailer.
morning. Might as well get there as fast as
Alrighty. Yeah. So, you guys are brought this little lizard folk commoner here, who is introduced to you by the name of Mirik. Mirik doesn't speak a lot of common, but just barely enough to give you some basic directions, they say. You're told that Mirik is very good in the swamp and knows where to take you. And yeah, you have your little party together. Is there anything else you want to do before heading out?
Now with Xfinity Internet, you can also save on wireless and streaming. Get internet that's
When we head out, maybe
plus stream your favorites with the Flex 4K box included.
Baystra definitely is happy to see you again. Nods in farewell.
Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months and get a Flex 4K box.
You were saying, Gardet?
Plus, save hundreds when you add.
I was just saying once we do leave, to like maybe just scope around the area to see if we can find Oceanus and Meepo.
Okay, so you just want to keep a lookout for them while you're going through the swamp.
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. So Mirik takes you out through the caverns, ends up leading you this way through the big cavern with the large giant lizards. With Mirik in tow with you, the giant lizards give you no problem, and you find yourselves exiting out back on that main map cave entrance that you guys
Yeah, because there's a lot of big things in there.
So, Mirik, as you guys break out into the early morning sunlight, turns to you and in very broken common says, River or Trudge or Swamp, your choice.
Is there like a raft, or is there like?
Yeah, the river is sort of leading back out into the ocean.
So walking, following the edge of the river, not jumping into the swamp. I thought he was
Mirik
As long as
sort of turns to you and says, River, take longer, but less danger. Swamp, quicker, but more hazardous.
The halftime report brought to you by Mark Miller Subaru, Utah's only negotiation-free.
Alright, as long as you don't try and make me swim across the river, I'm fine with that. Like,
or do you want to swim quicker and most likely get to the giant crocodile
I'm good with following the river.
If we get locked in combat and have to sit and heal, it ends up taking longer anyway. Yeah, that's cool.
So basically, I'll just tell you, taking the river, it's going to be about a 13-hour trip because of how it's winding and it's less direct and whatnot. Going straight through the swamp is going to take about 8 hours. So.
And
I mean, honestly, I'm still.
We get encounters, we get more experience.
Do you have your
You know what? I changed my boat to swamp now. I changed
Oh,
my vote to Swamp now.
hey, you know what? Ashari, now that you mentioned healing potions, actually, I completely forgot this. While you were in the Queen's throne room, when you accepted this request as a sign of goodwill and knowing that this was a dangerous request, she actually reached down below her little throne and presented you with a potion, a healing potion. It's actually a superior potion of healing to assist you in your quest to
Whoa!
the
Just a sorry?
find the giant alligator. Whoever seems to be, whoever wants to take it, she offers it to the group. Okay, so Ashari is the one who stepped forward and took it. Then we'll say. Furthermore, your guide, Mirik, seems on edge as she's leading you out of this cave and into the swamp. She keeps saying,
Because of this, we built the most powerful port explorer ever.
always hungry,
Because of this, we built port expedition with best-in-class talent. Because of this, we
Does
built a
this
state
little,
with Ford
I know it's a
co-pilot
commoner,
360.
but did they give him a weapon of any kind?
And because Ford SUVs
looks like they've got a sling on their side with a pouch full of rocks.
best-selling brand. Now through February 16th, get
Familiar fighting style.
total cashback or 0 for 72 financing plus 47.50 cashback.
1,000 teeth.
They call it a
Always
free,
eating, always hungry.
but there's really nothing free about it. Especially when you're shooting one with the game on the line. That's why I focus on the fundamentals.
You get the impression
I'm
that
gonna ask
1,000 teeth
Because sometimes
seems to be like a nickname or something for this beast.
is in the smallest detail.
We'll give it something to chew on, all right.
Maybe a hand.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love? Yes.
Maybe.
The answer is no.
Maybe if we're lucky.
Helping homeowners now become their parents.
I'm gonna talk to. You said this guy was Merrick?
Mirik, M-I-R-I-K.
Okay, Merrick. I'm gonna ask him.
Which you would know from your little study of the book that's Draconic for song.
Song?
That's what the name means. Song.
That name. I'm gonna ask him to tell me more about Thousand Teeth in Draconic, but to tell me slowly so I can practice listening and understanding the language.
Let's decide which way we're going first.
Oh, okay, sorry. I got
Are we
disconnected.
going
I
through
thought you guys
the
got
swamp,
decided.
which will take 8 hours? Or are we going to go down the river, which takes 13?
Hurry into the Hyundai Big
I vote Swamp.
I vote River.
for savings that are just too big to miss.
I'll vote swamp.
Get 0.9% APR for 60 months on the 2021 Elantra. Or
Okay.
get up to
Oh,
$1,000
yeah.
All right, so you're taking the shorter, more hazardous route.
Actually,
Don't switch your side, go down.
No takesies, backsies, I say in character.
But okay. It's fine. We'll go with swamp. I won't
Hurry
change
into
it.
the Hyundai Big Deal event going on now for savings that are just
Oh
too
boy.
big to miss.
All right.
No takes
Get
us
up
back.
to 0% APR for
So Mirik, though, responds to you
on the Tucson or Kona.
very slowly in Draconic, and give me just an intelligence roll to see how much of this you pick up real quick, because you're still learning this language. You're not fluent by any means.
Yeah. One sec. My page closed again.
Okay.
Okay, I'm rolling intelligence.
Baby. Yes, intelligence. Oh, look at the little bow. So cute. I love the bow.
This is my little baby elf.
So smart, Myra.
So an 8 or a 6. We'll go with the 8, but
Yeah, well, sorry, I didn't mean to click it twice.
so it's a little difficult for you right now, and you catch like a word or two, but it's kind of incoherent for you at this point. Unfortunately, your grasp of the language just isn't quite there yet.
Okay.
Mirik does sort of see that you're struggling, and then tries in broken common to try and tell you, And you basically you just get that it's big and it's hungry all the time. That's pretty much what Mirk gives you as far as additional information, which isn't a lot, but yeah. Okay. So you guys are heading into the swamp. It is overcast. It looks like it could rain today. It's kind of muggy and whatnot as well. So you may want to keep an eye on the skies for that, as storm clouds seem to be rolling overhead. But it isn't quite raining yet. As you trudge through the mud and the muck and past different trees and bushes of all different kinds, what is your marching order? Who's going to be taking the lead? Person in the lead is probably going to be making some of the survival checks and whatnot as you're moving through. Who wants to jump up there and spearhead things? Okay. So Ashari, then who else? Like, I want to know what your actual order is here. In case
I mean,
I'll go after Ashari.
I got a 3 in survival. I can go up in the front also somewhere.
I have a -2, so I'm gonna be in the middle.
Stay in the back.
Okay, so Gardane and Ashari. So Mira, you're gonna be in the middle.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Myra, you gonna be in the middle?
I'm not a good start.
Varys, where do you want to be? Taking up the rear?
I'll be last. I'll walk. Yeah, I'll walk just from behind.
Okay. So you'll...
Yeah. He'll be next to me practicing chronic with me.
There we go. So this is kind of your order that I have set up here on this little mini map. Okay. So we're not going to actually use this map. This is just, you know, where you're starting, sort of a thing. But as you trudge through, since you've taken the more dangerous route, 8 hours of travel. It's considered difficult terrain for the majority of this. Though the two in front here, give me quick survival checks, just in general, real quick, to see how well you can lead and following the instructions of Mirek as they sort of guide you and point you in the right direction. Okay, so it's a 9 and a 10. Okay, so I'll note that for later. Right now, it's not super important, but I'll note that for later. For each hour of travel through the swamp here, 8 total, we're gonna make a roll. Percentage dice. You have a certain percentage chance of something happening each hour. I'm not gonna say what that percentage is, but I will allow any one of you, just one, to make the roll for me, to roll a D100, to determine whether or not this hour in the swamp something happens.
Can I do it? I'll do it.
Go for it, Varys. So roll a D100.
I'm so afraid to click it now. Alright, there it goes.
55. Okay.
Alright, 55.
So your first hour of travel through the swamp seems fairly uneventful. So Ashari and Gardane, though, with your survival checks, so you don't run into anything untoward. No monsters or beasties disturb you during this first hour. However, Ashari and Gardane, real quick, just tell me what your passive perception is. It should be on your sheets there, underneath like your skills and stuff. 12 passive perception. Gardane, it's going to be underneath your skill list, right above your tools and stuff on the far left.
Skill list.
Looks like yours is a 13, actually. Yeah. 13. Okay. All right. So, with a 12, you said, Ashari? And a 13 for Gardane.
I still don't see what you're seeing. Like, oh, I see it now. I see it.
So very close. So very close. The two of you walking side by side through the swamps and trudging, sometimes almost knee-high in the swampy water, your boots getting soaked.
All right, thank you, Chris
You
and Mike.
pull up
Some
onto a
good
bit of
points there.
land, and
Pick up points.
suddenly there's an
Picked up
oddly
high, by the way. We saw
flat
a lot of
area
double teams
out in front of you,
off the three-point
but you
line.
pay no mind. You don't really think much of it. As the two of you step forward, the ground gives way. And with a crash, you both fall down 10 feet into a bog pit and are stuck in the mud down below. You're each going to take a d6 of falling damage real quick. So let me roll that. D6. So you each take 6 damage as you hit hard at the bottom of this bog pit. And you are pretty badly stuck in this mud, and your friends are now looking down upon the two of you from above, about 10 feet overhead.
Okay.
Throw the magic stick.
Hey, Sarah. How's work going?
Skeleton man, I have it shimmy up the walls and into Dimitri's hands.
I'm gonna have the other end
Dimitri,
charge my little
tie it off to a tree, please.
We have a
Or
floating stick.
tie it off to the rod of immovability or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's the rod.
Okay.
I'm not sure who has that.
Cat butt.
It's Myra.
Myra.
Myra, the rod.
Rod, please.
Okay, I hand it to him.
Okay, Gardane, while they are messing with this rope and dealing with the immovable rod up top, the magical words having been said and the rope springing to life to jump up to create an escape for the two of you, Gardane, since you have the higher passive perception, you hear right behind you.
Oh, hey, we might want to hurry this up. All right, I'll turn around and I'll pull out my shield and mace while they're getting that done to see if I can figure out what that hissing is.
Right next to you, you see a black and red striped snake. Give me a quick initiative challenge just between you and the snake to see if you can do anything before it tries to bite you.
Be careful, those ones are poisonous.
Okay. The snake rolls a 20. No, it's just focused on Gardane, and this is probably going to be pretty short. So the snake rolls a 20 for his initiative and bites you, Gardane, striking as you turn around to look at it. It rolls a 16.
Well, my armor class with my shield is 18.
Did you have your shield out?
Yeah, remember I said I'm going to turn around with my shield and mace to see.
Okay. All right, fantastic. So just in time, you pull out your shield as you turn, and the snake bites into the shield itself, its teeth clanking off. What do you do?
I will swing my hammer at it.
Okay, give me an attack. Yeah, you smash it in the head with a single blow, and it is dead.
Hey, we might want to hurry this up. There might be more of those.
By this time, your friends have easily already set up the rope, and Ashari, I assume you're already climbing. Yep. Mm-hmm. Easy enough with the magical rope knotted up and whatnot. Pull yourself out. Actually, first, give me a quick strength check because the mud is really sticky, and you're pretty well stuck in there. Just give me a quick strength check. It's not a high DC. 6. So you're a little.
It's higher than that.
It's higher than that. It's higher than that. So you find yourself even pulling on the rope. It's like it's suctioned, right? Like, you know how when your foot actually does get stuck in really thick mud and you're like, ugh! It's like that. And it's taking more effort than you thought it would. Gardane, you can do the same. All right, so you're stuck in there for a few minutes trying to get yourselves out, pulling on the rope, but the swamp just wants you to stay in this pit forever.
Hey, just let me climb on your shoulders.
Can I run up and try and help pull with the rope?
Yeah, sure. So now you've
Kind of
got
with
the
a
rope,
sense of urgency, like we don't have time for this, and see if we can try and get
and
them
with
all.
Varys pulling you up while you pull yourself up, you each can try this check again with advantage.
Okay, roll 20. Be nice.
Yep.
19.
Okay, you're able to
Ah.
make it up that time, Ashari. Takes a little bit of doing, but you make it. And you as well, Gardane. After smashing the snake's head in and struggling for a few minutes to get out of the mud, you pull yourself out of the bog.
Yay.
I
Alrighty.
should have kept the snake heads.
Now where the flat pieces of land are not muddy.
Now take back your clicky pen and your rope.
Alrighty, so you continue on your way.
I hope I don't have advisors over.
Those who are leading, I'd like another survival check for the next leg of the journey, and then one of you can choose to roll the D100 for this hour of travel.
One second.
Mm-hmm.
So the rope once knotted gives us advantage on climbing.
So it wasn't for the climb, it was for the strength check to get out of the mud.
My brain's just like...
No, you're good. The check had nothing to do with the rope climbing. It was about getting out of the mud. Yep, you and Gardane, I assume, are still leading the front, so give me survival checks again.
Apparently oblivious. Can someone else take the front?
Yeah, but you don't really know that you're oblivious. You're doing your best. You're just a little distracted after hitting your head in the fall. It's okay, though. And then, Gardane, you gave me a 22 there? Okay, good to know. Who wants to roll the D100 for us for this particular leg of the journey?
I'll do it.
Alright, give us the roll.
Whoa, David!
Alright, mine was going crazy there. 88 was the first one.
88 was the first one? Okay.
Yeah, it froze on me.
Okay.
Roll for the next 3 hours?
No, we won't count those. We'll take the first one, though, the 88. And so this next hour of travel seems to go pretty well, although it does lightly begin to sprinkle now as the clouds darken a little bit overhead. So it's getting a little bit wetter, a little bit more miserable as you're trudging through. Nothing in particular seems to disturb or bother you, though, during this hour of travel. So who wants to give us another roll on the D100 for hour number 3?
I'll do it. Okay.
68.
68, okay. Another hour passes quietly. The sounds of the marsh, nothing more than random animals and things, mostly benign and harmless.
What time of day is it?
So it's still pretty early. You were woken up fairly early to see the queen. We'll say that after 3 hours of travel, it's like maybe 11 o'clock, almost noon.
We're gonna get to where we need to probably 8 hours.
Hour number 4. Can I get another roll?
I can if nobody else will.
Yeah, go for it.
I roll D100s all the time, so I just want to make sure you each get your chance,
Sorry, I'm trying to. I don't see where the D100. Oh, there it is. There.
All right, you guys are rolling hot, and this travel through the swamp seems really unusually peaceful. Very quiet, almost too quiet. Your guide Mirik seems on edge, almost like they're surprised at this point.
Like, there's
We swear ogres in this area. I mean, no, see them. Hour number 5.
I guess now it's my turn, is that right?
Go for it. Yeah.
Watch me roll like a 3.
Don't jinx yourself. Oh no.
Funny.
Okay. Right.
Sorry.
So, additionally, roll a d8 for me.
A D8, okay?
America First
Roll a
Credit
d8 for
Union
me.
was founded
He's
in
got 8 different enemies that could come out.
pursue theirs. Some
And I've got
remarkable
7 of
Seven.
the 10 in OA.
how impossible your hopes
Okay.
seem,
7 cards.
how out of reach
So,
your wishes
as you
feel.
guys are
Together,
tracing your
we'll
way
craft
through
a
the
plan to
swamp
help you realize
and
that.
making your way
That's what
around,
being a member
you
is all
suddenly
about.
hear up
Because the
ahead
most important
a
changes
huge rumbling and
are yours.
a stomp. Really low. It sounds. Actually, give me an insight check, everybody who wants to, because this is very audible for all of you. If anyone wants to roll an insight check, you're not seeing anything, but there's definitely a big disturbance up ahead.
That's not too bad.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ferris has that 20/20 vision.
So, Varys, you hear the sound, and along with like this loud groan and a stomping sound, and the earth almost kind of shakes a little bit, it sounds like wood creaking and bending almost.
The coronavirus.
It's a big coronavirus. But you guys can hear this huge sound up ahead and like this groaning noise almost. And then a smashing noise. What do you do? You can't see through the trees and through the mist quite yet what it is, but you know that there's something happening up ahead.
Joe Ingles finding it right there. But the Jazz getting more opportunities. Why Bowling, we talked about that defense creating some great opportunities for them. And now
Almost want to like duck to the trees and kind of take cover.
If we take it back into the second quarter, 10.5 minutes of playing time.
Or maybe we should ask our guide if he knows how to get like around whatever that is.
Here comes Tyler Hero.
Maybe the elf that can kind of speak to the guide. Maybe ask him.
Rudy sets his feet. They go off to Iguodala.
It looks like you're muted.
That drop rolls on. Gobert clears it away with his 9th rebound.
Sorry, were you guys asking me something?
Why don't you talk to the guy to see the little round giant thing you don't know yet?
Okay, sorry, my sister walked into the room, so she's here. Yes, I will try to talk to the guy. I'll be like, bad thing. And then I'll like frantically search through my book for the word avoid. I'll be like, Horace.
So this tiny, skinny little lizard folk kind of turns to you and yes, yes. You don't want to get crushed. Come, and starts trying to take you sort of around this thing, whatever it may be. As you guys are moving through the trees, it looks like a tree just suddenly shifts and moves to the side. You still can't see quite what's going on, but up above you can see that one of these trees just kind of shift dramatically to one side, and another big groan and a stomp. As you guys are following Mirik, I assume, yes?
Yeah.
Give me perception checks as you're trying to skirt around whatever this disturbance is.
They've scored on just 3 of their last 25 possessions. They give it away
With a natural
again.
20, we have a -2.
That's a series right there. Started with Rudy Gobert.
Okay, so
Oh.
Dimitri, looks like you rolled the highest here. Dimitri, you kind of see now a bit through the mist and the trees, better than your companions can. And you can see that it looks like the tree itself is what's moving and making this huge ruckus. You see a gigantic tree moving what appear to be large branch-like arms and stepping about. It looks like it's trying to hit things off of itself, like small creatures are swarming over it, and it's trying to defend itself from something. Another big stomp. It looks like it might be in distress.
What looks like What looks to be bothering it?
With a 19, how far away you are, you're still pretty far away. And these are small things. Whatever it is, small, tiny creatures seem to be crawling all over this moving tree.
How far?
So you are, let's go ahead and pull up the map. So 1 second here.
What is tree?
So, let's see here.
I love the way Frank uses those timeouts.
There we go.
I feel like we need some swampy music now.
Oh no.
Oh, perfect.
Can you guys see that map?
Yeah.
Here's my number.
Well, let me put you where you're at exactly. Yeah, give me just a second here. Roll20 is being annoying at the moment.
This is the path to forever. It begins at one.
There we go. So you guys are trying to skirt around over here, down here in this little corner.
Ticket deposit tonight. Ticket deposits are $100 a seat.
Doubled?
Oh, we did.
Really?
Invoke duplicity.
Yeah, there's two of us, but only one of our guys.
That's weird. I only see one of each of you. Okay, well, you see the one that I'm moving right now?
Clarkson can get that three.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the ones we're using. Take your other token, because I can't see them. I honestly can't. I don't know what Roll20 is doing. Take your other token and just put it down in this little corner so it's out of the way. Put them all in that one square. Okay? And these ones up here that I put in a line are the ones we're going to use. Okay? Because I can't see the other ones. I don't know why.
Mitchell just simply lost it right out of his hands. Here's Tyler.
All right.
So
you guys are tracing through behind these trees and stuff. It's a little misty and hard to see what's going on here. But Dimitri, you see this big tree dealing with something crawling all over it. A whole bunch of these tiny little creatures.
All of a sudden grew.
I don't know why this is not working. What is going on?
Big corner.
Look at me. I'm the giant now.
What is wrong with Roll20 today?
Must save tree.
Alright, you know what? I'm redoing this.
Ow, kitty.
There we go.
There we are.
Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, you see this huge thing being accosted by a bunch of other things. Here.
I will yell out, "Halt! It's hero time!" And then I'll cast Chill Touch at one of these small things with a range of 120 feet. And then start running towards it, be like, "I'm coming to help you, tree."
And all my tokens are wrong sized.
It's Mr. Tree.
I thought they were specifically large rats.
Yeah.
How do we know?
For some reason, all my tokens are the wrong
thing.
Even better.
Alright, you know what? These tokens are all wrong, and it's not letting me fix them. So guess what? We are all big.
Yeah.
The squares are 5 foot.
Cool.
Okay. So this is the appropriate scale. I don't know why I can't change the size of those other tokens to make them smaller, because I didn't want you all to be as big as trees.
Wait, is that is that Meepo? Oh, that's our guide. Never mind.
That's your guide.
Cool.
Okay, so you fire out. You're firing out a
Chill
blast
touch.
of magic energy, a chill touch.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the range on that? 120, which
Yep.
you are within. Okay,
But
and you rolled an 11, correct?
yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, that hits.
Oh, cool. Didn't expect that.
Unfortunately for me. So go ahead and roll the damage there.
Oh, nice.
7 necrotic damage as you watch a number of these small creatures swarming over this giant tree fall dead, but the swarm keeps moving.
And now, right, this is difficult terrain, correct?
Yes, this entire area is considered difficult terrain. And if you guys are gonna get involved now, let's go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll get this going here. So
Don't forget to click your token before you roll your initiative.
click your token.
But then how would I get free rerolls?
Hey, come on.
Just kidding.
Don't do that to me now.
We're all very average initiative.
Different Dane.
I suck at initiative. I have yet to I always go last. Well, not always apparently.
Well, not always. Nice.
You exhausted your one option today.
You typically want your healer to go last anyway.
22-6 advantage Utah here in the third. Another loose ball knocked away.
You want the healer to go last because then they can see what idiot needed help.
Hey, I resent that. I'm not an idiot.
Okay.
You fought a lizard shield soldier.
Alrighty. But it was all in good fun. It was just a friendly contest there. I mean,
I had fun with it.
Right?
Come on.
Got knocked out. So.
I was bored. What else was I gonna do?
Just enough to knock him down, right? Heavy wind blew through. Hero
Can't get anyone here.
tries to drive off Clarkson.
Alrighty, there we go. There is our turn order. So at the top of the order is one of these swarms of rats. We'll say that you're getting close enough now, Dimitri, with your little jump forward that you can now tell that these are in fact a large number of rats swarming all over what appears to be a living tree of some kind.
Not rats. Anything but rats. No.
It's always rats, Dimitri.
No, not rats.
Sorry, Dimitri. I'm sorry. So, this swarm of rats is going to bite into this tree ant that they are accosting. And it's not gonna be able to hit though this time. No damage dealt this particular turn. Can't quite get through the thick, tough bark of this tree monster. Next up is this swarm of rats, who's gonna do the same. Also cannot get through the thick bark of the creature it's swarming on top of. And next up is Ashari. So it is difficult terrain. It's going to be hard to close the distance. Rawr, okay.
And then I can't get in to melee with I can't make it with just my normal movement, so I'm just gonna dash.
Okay, so that'll give you your full normal movement since you're dashing in difficult terrain. Okay, and where do you want to go? How far do you want to go?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
I don't take the second angle because I don't want to waste all of my movement.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Anything else? Make an attack or anything?
I can't.
Okay.
Because I dashed and I raged.
That's true. You did. Alrighty. So Varys.
Because I won't be able to keep it.
You're right. So it goes. Varys, though, you're up, sir. What would you like to do?
Really? I. What's the distance on a bow? Longbow.
So pretty far. Longbow has a really good range. Anything on here would be within range. The rats, swarms of rats, sort of on this creature's back or the far side, would be difficult for you to hit at all, just because they're going to have almost full cover with the monster itself that they're crawling all over. But these ones up in the front, you have clear shots at. You can attempt to shoot at the swarm of rats. They are crawling on the tree, though.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like they have 150 and 600 in range. Alright, I'm gonna try and shoot one of those up in front.
Okay, which one? This one or this one?
The right one. I think I have a better shot on the right one.
Alright, so go ahead and give me that attack roll. Okay, so an 8 misses, unfortunately. You watch as the arrow, it actually hits the tree, but it doesn't seem to hurt the tree. It kind of bounces off the hard bark. Doesn't seem to hurt the tree ant that they're swarming on, but you just barely miss hitting any of the rats themselves. Okay, are you gonna move?
Yeah. Going down here. I don't care. How far can I get in this rough terrain?
So you can basically move 3 squares. You have 15 feet of movement. Unless you dash, but you already used your action, so you can't dash.
And we can move 1 diagonal, right?
So yeah, the first diagonal is 5, the second diagonal is 10, so you could move 2 diagonals for a total of 15, or you can, mix it up a different way.
Okay, I'll stop there.
Dimitri, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on the rat that I damaged already, or the swarm that I damaged.
Alrighty.
That's a Wisdom save, DC 14.
Wisdom saving throw. Alrighty. Fantastic. So they are not particularly wise.
No, also
shocking. I know. So let's see. What's the DC again? Oh, doesn't matter. They rolled a natural 1. So yeah,
nice.
They take 11 necrotic damage as you watch a whole bunch of the rats individually just sort of crumple up into shriveled, almost like the liquid is being drained out of them. They shrivel up into dry husks and fall off of the tree ant that they've been swarming. And then you moved there? Okay.
Yep.
Alright. For some reason, I had you on the order twice. That's weird. We're gonna delete this second one. And then we'll move on. Okay, next up is this swarm of rats who's going to continue its assault on our tree ant friend. Bites into him. And still can't seem to get through the bark, unfortunately. Okay, Gardane.
Alright, my speed is 25, so, so I guess I would move like this, and then can I move diagonally, or just...
Yes, you can. So your first diagonal is 5 feet.
Okay.
If you take a second diagonal, that's 10 feet, though, for a total of 15 between the two. So
okay.
You've moved a total of 10 right now.
And because it's rough terrain, that's about as much as I could do, or...
Unless you're gonna dash. Yeah, you could use the dash action, but then you won't be able to attack or...
Nah, yeah, I was gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay, what's the range on Sacred Flame?
60 feet.
Okay, let's make sure you are in range for that. Looks like you are, and I assume you're targeting the rats?
Yeah, which one died? I don't know which one died.
So it looked like this group is the one that your friend was attacking?
Yeah, I'll just continue attacking that one.
Alright, so Sacred Flame, that's a Dexterity saving throw, correct?
Yes, sir. DC 13?
Alrighty. rats are not very dexterous. They fail their saving throw and take 8 radiant damage as you watch more of these rats. This time, instead of crumpling and shriveling in necrotic energy, they are burned in flashes of bright, radiant energy from your god. And that actually is enough to put an end to this one swarm of rats as they all fall off of the body of this tree ant they've been swarming. Well done.
Killing
Okay.
blow.
Next up is this swarm of rats up here, who's going to try to gnaw into it. Rolls a natural 20. Biting and piercing into this tree ant for a lot of damage. Lets out a huge cry as it just sort of thrashes in pain at these small creatures swarming all over it here. Righty. Gargane, you're on the initiative twice too. We'll erase this one, I guess. Okay. So this swarm of rats here is going to bite as well. But isn't able to get through the bark. And finally... Okay, so that one's on there twice too. That's weird. Myra, you're up.
Nice second effort.
Okay, so
know it's early in a career, but there's a little similarities here with Mie and Royce's growth and the way they are finding their way onto this roster and onto the floor and earning minutes.
You're right.
And then I'm going to target this clump of rats.
Coach Quinn Snyder, well, I know he
Alrighty.
holds them accountable.
And I'm going
Guys
to
are going to get in the game,
across.
regardless of how many minutes they're going to get. They got to earn their keep. Mie's doing it.
Yeah, he's another defender.
Ooh. Hey, that's definitely going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
About 230. Hero with a floater.
Yeah, I think right now he's at the stage.
7 cold damage. You watch as a couple of these rats just instantly sort of crystallize in ice, freeze, turn white with frost over their fur, and fall to the ground. But the whole swarm still seems to be kicking for the most part. Anything else? You gonna move further, or you done?
No, I'm done. Sorry.
Alrighty. It is the tree ant's turn. All of these rats are swarming on its body, so the tree ant itself moves, and so do all of the rats at the same time, and it's kind of thrashing about, trying to get these things off of it. You watch as it sways to one side and then sways down this way a little bit. And it tries to hit at one of these swarms, smacking its own body.
Nice stroke at the line. There were 4 points all here in the fourth.
And you watch as it just crushes a huge swath of rats, and its big, meaty, like, gigantic bark hand is just covered in rat gore as it pulls it off. But more rats just seem to keep coming. It's still badly covered with them. This one here is going to take some damage, though. Alrighty. Okay, so this one is dead. Next up is this swarm here, which is going to attack.
Again, 2 bounces. This one's going to jump onto a Linux.
Okay, they rolled a 14, which is not enough to get through the bark. This one is going to do its thing as well.
Again, for the Jazz, it's about how do you handle different situations? How do you keep
also not good enough. Ashari, it's your turn.
A team like Miami to go on a significant run to get back into this game? It's about how you start strong and finish strong.
No, and Thurl, I said something earlier that, again, you continue to learn this as you watch, the NBA, any professional sport. But
all right. So remember, all of these rats are on the thing's body. But yeah, you throw your javelin.
Can't you closer and then attack? Because I can't use my bonus action as dash action. I can't.
Not unless you're a rogue or a monk using Step of the Wind.
they know that the defense is important, and that really is the equalizer, I call it, depending on how you shoot.
I lost my rage.
Cruz gets fouled by Mie
Okay.
around that pick and roll, but
Down one.
you hear Quinn talk about read and react a lot.
All right.
So
Are you
the Jazz
throwing the
have a hard
javelin or
time
not?
playing
You tell me.
instinctive basketball
Okay.
based on what's going on
At
in real
this
time out there on the
pile
court.
of rats
That's a great
over
point.
here
Only
because I
picks
think
up
this
his
is too
fourth.
much.
What he'll have to learn next is trying to cut down on the fouls and stay on the floor.
16 will hit.
He'll take the
Roll the
free throw
damage.
line jumper.
That's really the only way Bandits
3
can
piercing,
score Rudy.
which you've dealt with swarms before, you know is going to be halved just because of the nature of a swarm. You basically manage to skewer one rat against the bark of the tree ant. The tree ant's armor class is also 16. He takes 1 piercing damage from your javelin, as well as this javelin is now sticking out of the leg of this tree ant with 1 rat skewered to it there, as the swarm takes a point of damage. The tree ant kind of turns and looks down at the javelin and kind of looks to you, gives sort of a shrug, like, why? And then just continues looking at the rats, less concerned with you, more worried about the rats that are swarming over its body. Varys, you're up.
Press the issue. He's had some nice plays to the basket, some dishes out to other guys. When Miami's not double teaming him, he's found his way to get that first 3 down. But what a shot, what an opportunity for a 4-point play.
Alright, I'm gonna try the bow again for that front one.
Alrighty, give me an attack.
The tough go from 3. Utah still though.
16 will hit, roll the damage.
They average 42 attempts and 17 makes.
Okay, 6, which again, due to the nature of the swarm, is going to be halved. And again, this time a couple rats get skewered by Varys' arrow and are stuck to the bark of the tree ant, which also is going to take 3 damage.
It's a rat kebab.
Goes inside that tough shot, turn around short. Nice rebound phase.
The tree ant
To 14.
seems really distressed at this. He's got 2 projectiles sticking out of him. He kind of looks over at you, his gnarled woody face like contorts in a scowl at you, like, what the crap? Dimitri.
Not every day I shoot rats.
My turn?
You guys have fought a lot of rats, actually.
It will move forward some more, and then cast Toll the Dead again on a damaged swarm.
Okay, so both of these front ones are...
Ooh.
Okay, so possibility of 2. Which one? This one or this one? They're both damaged.
Bottom one.
Okay. So...
Actually, let's do the top one.
This is a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay, he fails the saving throw. So
2
this
damage.
swarm will take 2 damage as 2 more rats necrotize and fall to the ground dead.
Oh, cool.
And yes, they are. Hey, it was random. I went off what you rolled with 7, so this swarm of rats here is going to continue its assault on the tree ant, biting into it. Let's see here. How many hit points does it have? Okay, still good.
It's that time again for our famous pastrami at Wiener Schnitzel.
Bites in and deals 8 piercing damage. You hear another howl of pain from the tree.
Wow.
As it bites into the bark, you see bits of wood flying off all over the place. The swarm is doing work. Dane, you're up, sir.
I am going to cast Guiding Bolt on one of the backpacks.
Guiding Bolt? Yeah, you're muted right now, but Guiding Bolt, it looks
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt on one of the backpacks.
Okay, so 10 is the armor class of the rats, so you are going to hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. 10 radiant damage as you watch a group of these things just fry with radiant light as your blast explodes nearby there. So the tree ant isn't going to take all of that damage, but he's going to take just a little bit, just by proximity. Oh, he does. You're right. Never mind. No damage for the tree ant this time. Next up is this swarm of rats. He's going to continue to bite. Oh, you got something else?
Well,
You moving?
yeah, I'll move up a little bit, but also that
They are
pack.
gilded with light.
Yeah.
I will make a note of that. So we'll put this little yellow marker on them. The next attack on this swarm has advantage because they are gilded with light by his spell. Okay. Alrighty, after Gardane is this swarm of rats here. Bites in once again. Not able to get through the bark. Myra, you're up.
Okay. Move myself. I can only move 2 squares at a time, yeah?
What's your movement? Normally.
I believe 30? Yeah, 30.
Okay, so you can move 15 feet, which would be 3 squares, or if you use your action to dash, you could take your normal 30, but then you wouldn't be able to use an action.
Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, I'm gonna move here.
Okay.
And I am going to target this one again with Ray of Frost.
Alrighty, see that attack.
The Jazz have possession. By the way, 10 threes
That's
tonight.
good.
It's the 33rd straight game. The Jazz have hit 10 or more three-point shots.
Okay, so that will hit. Roll the damage. 6 cold damage as more rat popsicles fall to the ground off of this tree ant. Some of them actually sort of shatter as they hit the hard ground and break into like a couple pieces because they're frozen solid. Anything else for you, or is that it?
That's gonna be it for the moment.
Alrighty, the tree ant's turn. You see a very similar thing to last time. It's swaying back and forth, its movement. It's just trying to get a hold on these rats that are crashing all about. It takes a step forward here, and it slams down on the same arm in the same spot, trying to get this swarm of rats again, to bash them into mush.
He's doing his job. And you know when he signed that deal, he knew exactly
and deals 17 bludgeoning damage to the swarm, putting an end to them.
The number 1 ranked hospital in Utah by US News.
That one is dead.
Okay,
and that is its turn.
Another test. I mean, this has been really going to be about 10.
This swarm is going to bite into him.
Not once but twice.
No question, but you know when you study for those tests, you're the Jazz.
They roll a 19 for 8 piercing damage as the tree ant begins to look sluggish in its movements, crying out in pain.
They've made a lot of adjustments in this game.
Okay, that one is dead. Ashari, you're up.
Well, now that I'm within 5 feet of this swarm of rats. Move towards me, I don't have to move. I'm going to take my longsword and I'm going to like swing it so I only hit the rats.
Yeah, so with a ranged attack, it's harder for you to not hit the tree underneath. But with the sword, I'll say you can kind of swing along the bark to try and swipe them off of him without hurting him. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Yes, you do. Next attack. It is still a glowing swarm of rats.
Quick pass out to Bogey.
Natural 20.
Hey! Very nice. Critical hit. I love it. Okay, so 8 slashing, but because they're a swarm, it's actually 4. But you do cut into them, and more of them fall down dead.
I did something with
Yep. And the tree ant actually takes the time to sort of nod to you this time for not hurting him while attacking the rats. Kind of.
By the way, Matt, I think you deleted my initiative.
Did I?
Yeah,
I still have you.
myself in order.
I have you here under Varus.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good. Okay.
So, and it is Varus's turn, and then it'll be Dimitri.
Sounds good.
Ardane's missing in mine too. Don't worry, Dimitri.
Roll 20's being weird. I don't know why. Sorry.
Really weird.
Roll 20 is always weird.
So what do you got, Varys?
Sorry, ignore that roll that just happened for me.
Okay, no worries.
Oh no, don't ignore that.
It's a good roll. It's a good roll.
Okay, I am. I'm gonna go shoot bow again.
Okay, so that unfortunately is a miss as your arrow again kind of glances off of the bark of the tree ant and doesn't manage to skewer any of the rats. Anything else?
She simply filed a claim on her USAA and said, "I've got this." USAA Insurance has made the way Kate needs it easy. She
Did he lose ya?
your payment plan, so it's easy on her budget.
All right, Dimitri.
Okay. Move up here, and then on this guy again, do a Toll the Dad.
Tolan that dead wisdom save, correct?
Yep.
It's a pretty good one. Let's see how they do. They're not very wise. Natural 20 on the wisdom save.
That's what I thought.
I'm sorry. Very, very sorry about that.
I don't think I have bonus actions either. Alright, I'm good.
Okay, so that same swarm that you tried to toll for is going to attack. Rolls an 11, not enough to get through the thick bark of the tree. Gardain.
I'll just move up a little bit, like here, then here, and then cast Sacred Flame.
Alrighty, fantastic. Sacred Flame, Dexterity saving throw, and this one again?
Yeah.
Okay, so potentially 5 damage, going to be a Dexterity saving throw from the swarm of rats. They fail 10 on their Dexterity save, taking 5 more radiant damage. This particular swarm looks like it is nearly depleted, only a few left still clinging on to the tree ant at the moment. Anything else, Gardain?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, another swarm makes an attack. Yeah, I'll let him move himself when he gets back. He'll be okay. This time they rolled just on almost damaging the tree ant, but not enough. Myra.
Sorry.
Okay,
I'm going
defense of the Jazz tonight. Bam and Jimmy Butler, they combined for 39 points a game, and they held those two, which are incredible talents, to 25 points.
What all is in range of me now?
So you can get probably that one in the back. And
The
this one in
world
front.
is my oyster, I can reach them all. Sorry, okay.
So this one would be difficult for you to hit just because it's like on the back side of the tree ant, like on his back. Basically full cover.
Okay. That's fine. I'll go ahead, I'll just continue attacking.
The lead turned to 16.
This one for the moment.
Favors hands it off down at stairway
Gonna do Ray of Frost again.
Okay. So David's computer is updating currently. He'll be back in a bit. Alright, that's definitely a hit with the Ray of Frost. Go ahead and roll the damage. 3 cold damage as a few more rat triples fall to the ground. Tasty rat triples. My favorite.
Okay, that should be it for the moment.
Okay, that swarm also looks pretty depleted at this point. The tree ant, again, stumbles forward a bit with all these rats on him. Comes this way a step, and then makes another swing. It's going to attack this swarm on its other arm. Slamming down onto itself.
Jazz closing this one out.
Dealing 14 bludgeoning damage to the swarm as another goop of blood and fur just comes up with its big branch arm.
Of the season, back cut against Struce. 2 quick buckets and a timeout.
Alrighty.
Snyder not happy.
That same
Defensive breakdown. Quinn's gonna fix it.
that same swarm is going to attack him.
4:29 left.
Bites into him. Rolls a natural 20 for 11 piercing damage into the tree ant, who again lets out another cry of pain. They Shari's turn.
I'm gonna take a 5-foot step towards the
Alrighty.
and I'm going to swing my longsword two-handed.
Okay, no longer advantage on that.
24!
24. Alrighty. Roll damage. Okay. You dispatch. You dispatch the rest of this particular swarm. They are very dead.
I then take my last 15, my last 10, and I move over here.
Okay, fantastic.
5, and I'm gonna move the other 10 so I can get in range again. This one's not.
Sounds good. Varys.
A lot of pressure on you again, Thurl. Back-to-back
He is
nights.
not here yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and move him up. And we'll just say that he makes another attack with his bow.
The reason why Quinn took that timeout, 11-3 run. Miami over the last 2 minutes. Made 6 straight shots. The Jazz
It does.
didn't help themselves much with some turnovers.
His aim is a little off today, unfortunately, for Varys. No damage dealt that particular arrow shot. Dimitri.
Cool. I'll run up here, and then I'll go for a booming blade.
On this one,
A boomer blade.
Alrighty. Is that a saving throw or?
No, it's just a regular melee attack.
Okay, that definitely hits. Roll damage. Okay, yeah, you dispatch the rest of this particular swarm as their corpses fall off of the tree ant.
Nice.
Splattering of blood and fur at your feet.
That'll be it from me.
You can't reach the back!
Gardane, it is your turn, sir.
Alrighty. Alright, well, can we see the rats behind him?
It's kind of hard. You can tell that there's still rats like on his back from your particular angle. You could hit them, but if it's a ranged attack as opposed to a saving throw, they might have partial cover, just because of the angle that you're at.
Alright, well, I'll cast Sacred Flame then on that group.
Okay, so that's another first level spell slot?
No, the Sacred Flame is cantrip.
Oh, that's a cantrip. Okay. Alright, okay, yeah, that's the saving throw. Alrighty, so that's DC 13, Dex. They roll a 17 this time. But you see the swarm just kind of open up, and your flash of radiant light just kind of barely misses all of them as they're scattering over his bark. Alrighty. That same swarm is going to take a bite.
And Gobert just scored and back at the line again.
Dealing 4 more piercing damage to our treant friend, who now kind of stumbles onto one of his big wooden knees. Not quite prone, but looking rough. Myra.
I'm forgetting to unmute myself.
Scored the last 7 for the Jazz.
I'm going to move myself as soon as I move this cat.
That's his 3rd three-pointer.
Sorry.
Good kitty. Good kitty.
Yeah, so I'll move myself up a little.
I think you're good.
No.
There.
Okay. I got
You're good.
move up just a little bit more. I am going to aim for this one.
Alrighty.
Joe needs 1 more assist. Just 1 more time.
Okay, so unfortunately that's not quite enough to hit, as your Ray of Frost just shoots wide off into the swamp.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I'll do.
Okay, Treant takes another slam attack. Hey, he rolls a natural 20 for a total of 30. dealing 28 bludgeoning damage to this particular swarm right here, which instantly dies. He manages to just stomp the entire group. But he did hear you when you said that he should turn around for you.
Right here.
And so he does.
One extra pass from Joe.
And suddenly this swarm on his back is now facing all of you as he turns around to oblige your request. He seems to understand you. And that's his turn. It is the swarm of rats' turn, though, first, and they will take a bite into him. They roll a 17 for 5 more piercing damage. This treant, again, he looks like he's on his last leg. Like he might fall apart at any moment. Ashari, you're up.
Mitchell takes goes through that same routine.
Okay.
Close the eyes. Takes another free throw.
Oh no! Just barely. Just barely. Oh, it's very sad. Very, very sad. That's okay though. So, all right, let's see here. Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Jawan Morgan, Jarrell Brantley.
Okay, Barris, you're up, sir. Looks like you could get within melee of the rats if you tried, if you wanted to.
Yes, let's go do this.
Alright, so you rush up to the swarm of rats on this thing's back. You swing.
In there. Alright, 1, 2, 3, swing.
Hey, that's definitely a hit. Roll the damage.
Oh, no ability was found. Attack. What?
Let me try clicking it for you here, see what happens on my end. There we go. Alright, 11 slashing damage as you watch the majority of this swarm dissipate. There's still a few clinging on, though. Dimitri, it's your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna reach out and cure wounds the tree.
Hey, alright. So you cast Cure Wounds.
Be 1d8 plus my modifier. So that'll be 8 points of healing for him.
Alright. Some of his wounds close up. You watch his bits of bark start to regrow.
None tosses in one of his own.
Alright. You see him look down back behind you since you're kind of off to his left and behind. He gives you a nod of gratitude as you perform that.
I'll give him a thumbs up and a wink.
Hey, Gardane, you're up, sir.
Alrighty then, I will cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
For a whopping damage there.
See if they make their save. They fail their save, taking 1 damage. They have 2 hit points left.
They got like flicked. And then, so with a cantrip, you can still cast a spell, right?
So if it was a bonus action, that's sort of the thing here. Sacred Flame is an action.
So then, yeah. So then I'll cast Healing Word on the int.
On the treant?
Yep.
Okay. And that is a bonus action, correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. So 5 points of healing surge through the body of this treant. You don't have to touch him for that, right? That's
nope. It's that you can see within range 60 feet.
Fantastic. All right. He watches more bits of the broken and torn bark seem to magically reform on the body of this tree. Hey. Myra, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to attack with Phantom.
Hey, that's a hit.
Yeah!
That should do it. Go ahead and roll the damage, though, just in case. Woo! All right, you watch as 2 more tiny ratsicles fall to the ground and shatter. And we're out of combat.
And this is really what's going to take him to the
Mm,
superstar level is what happens every single
mm.
night, along with everything else he does. But
I was digging the
it'll
battle
all be
music
done
though.
eventually.
None of
Uh,
us lost your points.
as
Well,
the
the
final
Jazz
rat falls to the ground,
bit
you
of a
watch
struggle at
as
first, but the
this
Jazz found
giant
their
treant
stride in the second half
looks
and
and
led by
turns
some
to you,
tough defense. Chris
and with a
Kenny
very
right now
grateful look on
with
his
the man
wooden,
who
barky
was really a
face,
pest,
he
Royce
starts to
O'Neal,
speak.
aka.
Uh,
Roy,
do
sorry
any of
to
you speak
disrupt your dog
Sylvan?
fight tonight. How did this one test your physicality?
Definitely. We knew they were gonna come out aggressive. Playing on a back-to-back
Well,
is gonna be
unfortunately,
tough.
I don't speak
We got to find
Sylvan.
that energy somehow.
So
In
you
the third
hear
quarter, I think we
this
really picked it up.
slow,
We
sonorous
got big lead
voice,
and ran it up.
Royce, we were talking about your journey
and it's just
tonight
gibberish
from
to
being
you, nothing that you can
undrafted and
really make
playing
out.
overseas,
And
now a
after a
career,
moment,
turning a
he sees
career
kind of the
highs and just
confusion on your
dominant
faces
every
and
night. How different do you feel this year?
crouches down from his huge height, and he gets like right up in your face, Varys, since you're the closest, and he's giving you a really
On a night
discerning
when
look,
you guys are
almost
struggling
like
to
he's
find the
studying you.
three, you found other ways. What does
And
that
you
tell you
swear
about this group?
he seems to take a
We're
note
versatile. We
of
score a
your
lot of different
ears
ways.
and then
I mean,
speaks to
our
you
three-point shots from
in
far, we only hit
Elvish
12. So we
and
know our defense
says,
want to
in
kick us
Elvish,
in, and that's an easy fast break
"Thank
offense
you,
and open
Elf,
up the paint for us.
Well, we love
and
seeing your defense
your
tonight. What are you thinking, Roy,
friends.
screaming?
I nearly
All right, thanks a lot, Chris.
lost
And
my
Royce O'Neal,
life
solid indeed,
to
thorough.
those
And the Jazz
pests.
continue to impress.
You
22 and
have
5,
my
7 straight
gratitude.
wins, and 18
And my
straight
axe.
19. Coming up
I
Monday night, another test for
am
Philadelphia
gnarlroot.
76ers. It's
Gnarlroot.
time now for Jazz Game Night,
I
the post-game
watch
report,
these
presented
trees, and he
by Siegfried and Jensen.
gestures to several of the trees in the nearby vicinity. And you tend to them here in
Welcome
small.
to Jazz Game Night, the post-game report, presented by
Some of them
Siegfried
are
and Jensen,
very rare.
helping injured people throughout Utah for over
These
30 years.
awful creatures come, needed the wounds. They thought to put me away, that they could continue their What brings you here to my grove? And any of the other elves, you can definitely hear this. Make it out.
Well, and Gardane. The only one
Oh, and Gardane, because
Yes.
knows Elvish.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no,
Dimitri. I swear it's not intentional. That's just those are the languages the treants know.
I'll walk over here and I'll
It's
translate.
fine. It was my idea to save him anyway, but it's fine.
This is no comment.
I'll translate for Dimitri.
So actually, if you start translating for Dimitri, the treant turns to you, Myra, and notices what you're doing, and he then says in common, "My apologies. I did not realize." They also speak common.
Finally, someone intelligent. Now you're speaking my language.
I step around Varys and tell them that we're just trying to get
That's why it's fun to watch this team, and I also believe it's
through
why
the
they
swamp
are such
to deal with a
dangerous
large
team
crocodile.
in the NBA. To your point, and to
You
Royce's
see it
point,
sort of
Paloma,
stand back up,
5 players tonight in double figures, but
creaking, and
also
its
54
leaves up in its
points
head.
in the
It's just
paint.
sort of
So when the three
swaying in the
didn't
breeze
work
right
tonight,
now.
more
He
or less, I
looks
mean, they
over to
still
you.
led on that night, 12 of
Ah,
26. That's just
yes.
a mediocre
The one
night, the way the
the
Jazz have been
lizards
playing of
call
late from
thousand
outside. But
teeth.
the
Yes.
54 points in the paint and the 5 guys in double
A
figures
very
tells you a lot
dangerous
about
one.
this team. There's very little panic, and they just went about
Be
their business.
careful,
And Thurl,
my
that's
new
really kind of the
friends.
beauty about this team.
Well, it is, and it really is the only way
This
you
will
can get
not
to the
be
next
an
level because
easy
teams are
task.
trying to figure you out, right? They're
You
trying
have
to see
saved my
what they
life
can take
today.
away from you. Tonight we saw them double team
I
Jordan
believe
Clarkson early in this game. We saw them
that
taking away
war
threes from the
is
Jazz,
a
and so the Jazz
reward.
they read and reacted. They went
And you
inside for
watch
the twos. The
as
twos
he
were
sort
working,
of
but the constant
reaches
is
up
that the defense has to be there. It has to
back
be good
behind
to
him
keep you in games,
and
to
then
give you an
pulls out
opportunity, and to give you
a
opportunities to open it up to
strange
play the type of game you want to,
little
which the
feather,
Jazz did in the second half.
You know, guys,
and he hands it to whoever will take it from him.
Reminding us of kind of the way that Royce
Sure.
O'Neal has developed, but
I vote
Dimitri.
Dimitri since he was the one that
Let's let
decided to try to
Dimitri.
save his
Go
life.
ahead, Dimitri.
Yay!
this is a guy that just,
This is
his motor never stops.
I do not know exactly what it does, but there is some magic to it. Perhaps it will be of use to you, little one. And he hands it down to you, Dimitri. So you can just mark in your inventory magic feather if you can get it identified later. We'll figure out what it does. Okay. I once had a very strange bird nesting in here. It left me there. Now, hopefully, it can be of service to you.
Well, you're absolutely right. And guys, you know as
Well,
well as
thank
I
you.
do, there's nothing that you could do
We're
to
just
be
glad to see
successful.
Caruso now stood up nicely by
so
Anderson.
on to hear this work.
How about Davis from three?
See him sort of
Can't get
give
that
like
one,
this
but it's gonna
really
stay here.
bass
Harris
tone
now
kind of
in
chuckle
chains on the loose ball. And that one's gonna put Memphis over the limit.
as his
And so
branches kind of
James to the
shake a
line.
little bit.
To develop into a player that takes pride in that. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why this Jazz, the
It is
team
very
are sitting at the
noble
top
what you have
in the
done.
league is because the defense, it starts with him, and a lot of times it ends with Rudy. But Royce O'Neal, he is. for me,
And
the
also
perfect
with
defensive
you.
system.
All of us were around when AD 47 Andre Karolinko.
That wasn't what I was going for, but hey, it works.
I'm gonna go get our lovely little lizard folk friend.
Yeah. They shyly sort of approach kind of slowly after the battle kind of wanes. And it doesn't seem like they want to interact with the big tree man, but rejoins you.
He just wants to interact with the big tree man.
For school, and it was a winner.
Turn to the lizard folk.
Lizard folk.
Mine/small words. Where to next?
In broken common again. This way. And starts to lead you back down the trail as you leave Gnarl Root behind to tend his grove. So you're 5 hours in to your journey. Jessica said she had to get off. She's got family over and whatnot. So I'll control Myra for the rest of the night. But who would like to give us hour 6?
Let's give the kid.
28. All right. Roll a D7 for me. D8, sorry.
D7?
D8.
Ooh, I'd love to roll a D7.
Roll a D8. 8. Okay. Alrighty. So, the fun continues. The fun continues here in the Pool Marshes near the Dunwater River.
We're gonna have to take our night's rest just because we're all gonna be out of spells.
Oh man. You guys, it's all good fun. All good fun. Alright.
But hey, at least we got a feather.
We're racking up the XP.
So you guys hear a
That's what
racket.
really matters.
You guys hear a racket and some rough voices arguing with one another up ahead near a portion of river that seems to sort of come down around this way, nearby where you're at. And through the mist, you can see, you guys are probably about here when you finally notice them, 2 large ogres that seem to be arguing with one another. The other one looks at him and sort of like swings an arm at him like a backhand but misses. And they seem to be bickering back and forth with one another.
It seems like a good time to go around.
Let's go this way.
Alright. Stealth checks, please.
Oh
For all
lord.
of you, and we'll see if the ogres
This
notice
is
you guys.
not gonna go well.
Anybody who's got heavy or like chainmail, you are at disadvantage for stealth checks. Please remember that. So So that would be Varus and Gardain at the very least. Dimitri, do you have heavy armor with a disadvantage to stealth or no?
I'm wearing studded leather.
Studded leather. Okay, so you're good. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna do a perception check for the ogres.
I think my roll is pretty solid there, guys.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Alrighty.
Just a couple rocks.
Home. It's a
Not
small
too bad.
word with a big meaning.
Okay.
It's more than
All right,
a roof
so
over your head.
it seems
Home
that
protects
they might not have
binds us
noticed you.
together and houses a lifetime
Where are
of
you? What are you doing
memories.
right now? And how far are you trying to go? How fast are you moving? Tell me in detail what your plan is here.
Your home improvement
I
project
just
with
think
a
we
home
should
equity
sneak
line of
around the
credit from
outworld and
2.99%
see if
APR
we
fixed
can't
through the end of
past
2021. Apply now at gwc.org.
Or we can cross the river and go on the other side.
It was totally supposed to be your day today. That's why we brought you
We
along.
don't know what's in the river.
But when
We
we
don't know
got
how
to
deep
the
the river
top,
is.
I just
And I'm
And
assuming
Gardein
you're
Yeah,
wants to go
whispering.
right
that,
bottom.
that's fair.
I'm assuming
We,
you're all whispering right
yeah,
now.
yeah. I definitely think we should go like a long distance away around them.
$50 cash back on a new four-wheel drive 2021 4Runner or lease 4Runner for
This
just
way.
$319 per month. Find yours at
Yeah,
Okay.
Toyota.com.
yep,
Toyota.
The
Let's
left?
go places.
All
yeah.
right.
I
So
agree.
Rock.
as you guys move, you need to move slowly if you want to be able to use those stealth rolls.
Yeah, we want to
Okay.
go slow. This is
So you're
gonna take a minute.
creeping along very slowly, making your way downtown, walking not fast. Faces past and you're homebound.
You know, I think the law of averages kicks in at some
You
point.
guys gonna make it about this
However,
far,
you know,
but
when
you
do
you
have
hear
stuff
some
like this,
rustling and some more
when it
of
becomes
their
more
voices
important
rumbling
to
back and forth.
always important,
And
but
you hear
just
heavy
more
footsteps. You
impactful
can't
even.
really see
And
because
then
of
we
this
started attacking
big
Grim.
rock
You know, I
that you're
thought
kind of sneaking
maybe
around
the pick
behind.
and roll
But you
later
figure that
kind
something
of
is
avoid
happening
situations
beyond
when they
what
were
you can
trapped.
see there.
And I thought
When you
Donovan
get
in
to about
particular in the
here,
third quarter
I'm gonna need
came
new
out
stealth
and really
rolls to make
attacked,
sure you're not hurt.
got in the paint and started making plays, you know, and getting on the rim, which was a big deal.
10.
Turn to Jones, the athletic.
Oh, and I just realized I didn't roll for Myra last time. So let's go ahead and roll for Myra.
Well, you know, we have tremendous confidence
Even
in
at
those
disadvantage,
guys.
you're
And,
good.
you know, they're
Okay,
different
8, 8,
players.
6, 17,
You
and
know,
then
they
10.
can
That's how I roll.
obviously,
Oh no.
defensively
Oh
takes
no,
a
no,
boy.
no,
toughest
no,
matchup.
no.
Oh
Every
boy.
night. And,
But
you
let's
know,
see what happens here.
that takes a toll
So
on
let's
and, you know,
do
he's
some more
battling
perception for
through,
the
you know,
ogres.
fatigue because he guarded Giannis last night, you know, he guards Jimmy Butler tonight.
Okay.
Um,
So
you know,
you
he
guys are
shot the
hearing
ball,
this
you
back
know,
and
very
forth
well,
of
so
their
we have
gruff
a lot of
voices
confidence
and
in
the
him.
stomps of their feet on the other
You know,
side of this
he
big
didn't
rock
make
thing.
shots tonight, but he'll make them, and he's
And
made them before.
suddenly,
George as well.
one of
I
them
think
yells
George,
out to the other,
comes in
and then they go
he's ready to
silent.
shoot, and his baskets
And then,
are big baskets. You know, a lot of times they're threes.
What are you
But
guys
by the
doing?
same token, you know, I
Maybe
think
maybe we
George
should just
absolutely,
stay still. Like
he's getting locked in. And,
They
you know,
can't
whether
see
it's
us.
freeze.
a lot of times he'll draw a post up.
Can we jump in the bushes?
I don't think we're gonna get away with the
You know,
lizard folk
I
thing
feel like both those
twice.
guys know who they are. They know what they're doing to help
You gonna
their
try to
team win.
hide? Is that what you're
And that's
doing?
the most
You
important
have
thing.
only a few seconds to make a decision here.
Yes. I jump in the bushes.
Wait,
Okay.
do I hear footsteps approaching us?
It kind of sounds like footsteps may be approaching you. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna let my friends hide and then jump out as a diversion.
Okay. So you jump out from here, and as you jump out, you do see that one of the ogres has approached to this point, and kind of points at you, and then turns back to his friend and calls out,
Wait!
I thought they missed some
Wait.
shots early, which we were fortunate that happened because
Okay.
I'm just passing through.
by more.
I'm
early
just
in the
passing
game.
through. Okay.
You know, in the
You
third
see
quarter,
that you see the
it's a
ogre
different
who is
story.
wielding like this big,
You know, we talked
huge
a lot
club,
about our
kind of
players,
look at you.
being able to talk to each other, you know, and find situations where we can be better. And you know, coming out of
Tiny
halftime, you know, I think we
and
were really locked
tasty,
in and understood more.
yes.
That we had to make quicker decisions. They're so good
Tiny and
So
tasty.
defensively,
Actually,
that if
I'm
you
not
lose
that
top of the
tasty.
ball,
Trust me.
they really lock
As
in
he's
on you
jumped
and they're
out,
shifting,
I've
and
like
it makes it a lot harder. So,
I've had a sixth sense that he was
our
gonna do
ability
it.
to kind of push the ball,
I know
and
Dimitri by
then
this point.
make really quick
I've
decisions.
started to
And
book it over,
that's
so
how we
I'm
want
like
to play,
I'm
and it's even more
closer
important against the
than
team
I
like
was
Miami that
before.
is so
So
strong
as
and
he's
so
doing
well
this,
drilled
I'm
defensively.
going to become a tasty snack for an ogre.
Okay. This one moves a little bit in beckon from his friend, but at this point here, I think we're rolling initiative.
Hey,
Because
it's
he sees
something
a tasty
that
snack,
we've really talked
and I
about,
don't think he's in a mood to really negotiate
for
with
a
you,
while.
Dimitri. I'm sorry.
And,
Ah.
during the course of
What
the
if I
year,
show him a magic trick?
you're not going to play well.
If you want,
the
I'll
whole
give you a
game.
chance. What do you want to do?
Be
You
like,
gotta be
wait.
quick.
And
You
I'll
gotta
be
be real
like,
quick.
I may be human, but I am mighty sorcerer. And I'll like flip my hands around and then appear in my hands 2 onyx gemstones.
Okay, so this would be like a sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand or performance, however you want to call it.
We've been much better.
I think it's both, because you're trying to do this illusion of you're making it appear, right? So give me a sleight of hand to see how well you pull off the actual dexterity.
Ah!
And then give me a performance. Then give me a performance for your showmanship to see if you might be able to cover for it. Hey, that's pretty good. All right, so the 7, you kind of fumble a little bit, but you're so good with the traditional magician's patter, and the misdirection that he doesn't even notice you fumble the gems a little bit before ha. And you see him pause for just a second and look at the gems in your hand. Snack and treasure. Yes.
No.
What? Come again?
Pause enough to give me 10 more feet.
Sure. Why not?
Yes!
Okay. Dimitri, you were saying?
Not treasure and snack. Treasure and trade.
Treasure and trade? What you have for trade, puny human?
Well, I have these gemstones. This treasure.
Me no trade for what I can take off puny body after me smash.
You sure you want to do that? I'm pretty
to...
powerful,
Oh, you're trying to intimidate. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna say you can roll intimidation. Right now, he's not super. I'd say this is with disadvantage, though, given the current roleplay circumstances. So 12. Okay. Yeah. He's not buying that, unfortunately. He sort of, kind of smacks his club into the ground again, and he's coming towards you. Let's roll that initiative now.
Alright.
Also, with Ashari getting a little bit closer, I'm going to say Ogre Buddy got a little closer too.
Hey,
Ah!
I'm just trying to cut down the need to have to run farther.
No, you're good. Remember to click on your tokens.
Don't bode well.
20!
So Dimitri, you rolled a 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got you on here twice. So I'll give you...
Less than me, please.
Ashari, what did you roll? 20?
Oh gosh.
Okay, for some reason everybody's getting added on more than once.
Well, Varys rolled 20.
Varys and Varys,
This
so...
is like clearing out, like ours did.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so weird.
Roll 20's being weird.
Gurdane, you got a 16, so we'll get rid of this one. That's 12. Okay, so 1, 2, 5. Alright, so everybody's there. And our ogres. So on that first perception check, they literally rolled like 2. It wasn't until the second perception check that they heard anything. I was like, oh wow.
I figured they rolled really low. We rolled really low.
Yeah, they did bad on that first one. So one of the ogres has an initiative of 0. The other one has
that one, I go before him.
But the other one has an initiative of 12. Okay.
I still get to go before both of them. That's
Alrighty.
fine.
So, let me roll for Myra real quick, and then we can get started. Okay.
I'm gonna go grab a quick drink. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
anywhere and anytime you want.
Okay, so Myra gets a 9 for her initiative.
That's easy too. Just visit uccu.com.
Okay, so first up here in our order is Varys. Varys, you see your friends trying to negotiate and haggle with these ogres, but it doesn't look like it's going well. They are brandishing their big clubs and look to be threatening your friends.
Why am I so calm right now? Because this
All
is
right,
Nissan.
let's see.
This is a Nissan salesman ad. Right on cue. This Rogue has more standard safety technologies than that RAV4.
Sorry, my kid's talkative.
It's almost too easy.
Hurry in and save up to 2,000 for the
I guess I can put the battle music back on.
You almost just don't have to take it off.
At Domino's, you can now stream thousands of movies for free
You
with
just
any
in 100%
online order, no
suspense
matter
the
what
entire
you
time.
order. So you can have stuffed cheesy bread with extra cheesy rom-coms.
It's you.
All right, so I'm gonna move a little bit closer.
Or saddle up on the couch for specialty pizza and a western.
I'm just there.
So it is still difficult terrain.
Oh, it is?
Yep, still difficult terrain. So you can make it 15 feet.
Incomparable design.
And
State-of-the-art technology.
I'm gonna throw my
The Lexus
javelin.
Annex. With
The
pedestrian
one you
detection,
pulled out of the leg of
lane
the tree.
departure alert, and Amazon Alexa compatibility.
That was my
Yeah,
javelin.
of course.
Oh, that was your trap. That was your job. That's right.
He took my javelin. It's okay.
I have 5 of them on me, so I'm good.
All right, so give me that attack roll.
Amazing to a Lexus dealer.
All right, that's a 21. That is definitely going to hit the ogre for 4 piercing damage. Kind of jabs into him, but it kind of also falls off. Doesn't look like it hurt him too much. Anything else, Ferris?
No, that's it.
Alrighty, sorry. You're up.
Frenzy raid.
Okay.
Which gives me 2 attacks per turn.
Okay.
So I get to use my bonus action to attack.
Alrighty, fantastic.
Frenzy rage, I'm gonna move 5, 10, 15, so I'm in melee with it.
Cool.
And I'm
2 attacks.
two-handed attack him twice. It doesn't
Alrighty.
feel like a hand dummy or anything. It's not like reckless attack. It's just frenzy. I will get like point of exhaustion after.
What's the importance of
First
So,
attack
staying ready
8
in terms of a night like this where
is an 8.
second attack
shots not going down?
is a 16.
You kind of have to go.
Okay, so the first one, so he's a big target, you don't miss, but it kind of just glances off of the sort of rough-hewn hide armor that he's kind of wearing, the sort of skins and things that he's wearing as clothing. It doesn't quite pierce through those leathers that he's on. The second one hits true though, and you slice into him with the sword. Roll the damage.
So I think it's important that everybody stays.
So 9 total. You cut into the ogre. And lets out a cry. He'll take that. Anything else for you?
Try to always stay ready
That's it.
because
I
just
moved
like
all my
tonight's show, you
motion. I
never
got
know.
both my
I
attacks.
mean,
Okay.
make a couple shots.
Fantastic.
Someone messes up in the
Right,
side,
Gardain,
you score some
you're up, sir.
points and impact the game like
I will cast Sacred Flame
rebounding.
for another whopping 1 damage if it hits.
Let's see here.
And when you have that, it shows in itself. I mean, we're winning games.
Okay, he is in range, so he'll make a dexterity saving throw.
Hey George, Coach was saying
He is not very dexterous. He's a big guy. He rolls a 1 on his dex save and fails, so he'll take 1 radiant damage as he is singed by the flash of radiant energy that you conjure around his being.
As a bonus action, I will cast Spiritual Weapon.
Alright, so where do you want the spiritual weapon to appear?
I'll say right here.
Ping again right there. What's the range on the spiritual weapon? How close does it need to be?
Good question.
Because I think it needs to be within 30 feet.
It's 60 feet.
60. Okay, so you can. That is just barely within 60 feet. Just another magical hammer.
Yep, just a huge two-handed magical hammer.
That's how you win games. And other teams lose
There's your
games
magic
because
hammer.
they refuse
Yes.
to hold each other accountable.
It's a good one.
Little things. And I
I'm
think
an
that's
artiste.
one thing, especially after
You really want to put
playoff
lightning
series
bolts coming off of
last
it?
year. That was some damage that coaches
That's
put
okay.
down on us.
But I do believe when you cast it, you can still make an attack with it, right? Or no?
Yes.
All right, so give me an attack with the spiritual weapon. Oh, that was it. So it was a 7.
Yeah.
So that unfortunately misses. It sort of glances again off of the ogre's hides and whatnot. Doesn't seem to deal any actual damage to him, unfortunately. Okay, so this ogre right here lets out a "Me angry now. You get smashed real good," and he's gonna run up here, right next to the two of you here. And Dimitri hasn't hurt him yet, though Dimitri was the one who was taunting him. But Ashari, since you already attacked, he's gonna turn to you and is gonna. He takes his great club and with a mighty swing tries to bash down on you. Rolls a 12. All right, you deftly jump to the side as it pounds into the swamp right next to you, mud and water splattering all over the place with a huge impact. No damage there. And that is the ogre's turn. It is Myra's turn. Myra is going to stay where she is and cast a spell. We're going to have her give us another Ray of Frost, which will hit, causing 8 points of frosty cold damage to the ogre. Alrighty, Dimitri, you're up, sir.
Okay.
You are within melee.
With a crackle of necrotic energy on my hand, I'll say, "Don't say I didn't warn you," and then I'll cast Inflict Wounds. Oh, yes.
24 to hit, will hit.
Oh, yeah. Let's not get minimum damage rolls. Ah, that sucks. Wow.
It's alright. 9 necrotic damage as you reach, and this thing is pretty tall, much bigger than you, but you reach over and you grab onto his leg, and this shearing, sparking kind of necrotic energy just flows through his body. We'll take those 9 damage as he lets out a cry of pain. He looks down at you. Just growls. Ogre number 2. Okay, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Okay, so he can't make it all the way there, given the difficult terrain. But he's going to move to here. And then he has a javelin on his back, which he pulls out. And he's going to huck at the nearest target. Sorry, Ashari. You're the closest one there. But he throws a javelin in your direction. Rolls a 19 for 13 piercing damage, which will be reduced by half. So you're going to take 6. As his javelin hits into your side, drawing some blood.
Make sure is that you make an impact in the ball game.
Okay, Varys.
Don't make a lot
You're
of
up, sir.
mistakes. Keep the team from not taking a dive or anything, but just trying to maintain an impact. He's just certainly shooting the 3-point shot. He had a pretty good night tonight, 4 for 6. Last 6 ball games, I think he's like 8 for 22. But he's I'm impressed with the way he's been trying to play defense there.
Alright, well, I'll move closer.
Winning fun. You see that? It's winning. It's totally fun.
Just for funsies, here's a little full illustration of the ogres. Give you an idea of what you're facing.
Have they just done like a person right next to them? So you can have like 4 scales?
Yeah, just because of how big they are, you're probably, at most, the tallest of you would come up to its waist, maybe belly button. So they're a large creature. They're not, you know, huge, but bigger than all of you. That's for sure. Okay.
I'm going
So
for
we
that
need.
one close by me with my javelin again.
All right, you throw a javelin. 18 is
That's
gonna
right.
hit. Roll the damage. Four
Oh,
more
come
points of
on.
damage as it
Oh, I have a
sinks to his
+3 again.
side. Alrighty. Okay.
Alright, that's all I got.
Sorry. Your move.
I'm still in my frenzy rage. Get my 2 attacks.
It's never been more true.
Okay.
We take care
18
of
hit. Oh, 16 hits. Yep, go for it.
University of Utah Health.
2 rage
12.
damage.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah, the first number is without the crit. The second one, so 12 total. Fantastic. As you cut into him with your magical sword.
I'm gonna do it again.
Alrighty.
15.
15 hits. They are not hard to hit at all. 7 more slashing damage as you cut into him with your magical sword.
Get up to 0%
Shatter
APR
strike.
for 60 months, or up to $3,500 in savings on the Tucson or Kona. Only at your Utah.
Alrighty. It is Gardain's turn.
Sacred flame.
Roar! Okay, another dexterity saving throw.
Right now, that means extending our 10% savings on auto.
Rolls a 4, fails his dex save, and takes 7 radiant damage. That's enough to kill him. You want to describe how that happens?
The flame goes in his mouth and then burns out his eye sockets.
Oh, I love
So
it.
it shoots
Yeah.
beams like out his eye sockets after it goes in his mouth.
I love it. That's exactly what happens. You wait, and through the mists here in the swamp, you see just the right moment when he cries out in pain after Ashari slices into him, and you look right into his mouth, and that's when you release your spell. And this radiant just flashes out, and his eyes burn up, and he... And we got 2 people right in melee with him. So I'm gonna roll to see if he falls on anyone, because he's big. So evens, he falls on someone. Odds, he doesn't. Evens. Okay. Evens, it's Ashari. Odds, it's Dimitri. I'll give you a dex save. So, Ashari, give me a dex save to get out of the way.
So I get advantage on dex saves because of danger sense.
Fantastic, go for it.
19.
Yeah. Alright, so you see it coming. His eyes are flaming, and you jump out of the way at just the right moment as he clambers onto the ground here on the swamp with a splash. Smoldering from his face the whole time. Well done. Nicely done.
Danger sense. Thank
Danger
you.
sense is great. I think that's your first time using it, right?
Yeah, because it's the first time I've ever actually had to do a dex save.
All right. It is Myra's turn.
As my bonus action, I want my hammer to go swing at the next guy.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. So.
Well, we talked a little bit about Joe Ingles, and of course, he's
try to move the hammer.
6 assists tonight. That ties him with physical
If it will let me.
on the all-time Jazz list for assists. But JP Chunga sat down with former.
All right. Well, whatever. It moves there, and you attack with the spiritual weapon, which hits with a 24. Go ahead and roll the damage. I don't know why roll 20 is being dumb. 5 force damage as you knock him upside the head with your mystical magical weapon floating through the air. And now it's Myra's turn. Because of the bushes here, she has to move a little bit this way, get a little closer. But she pulls up her hands and is going to conjure another spell to attack the other ogre. And what the heck? She's going to burn Magic Missile. I'm controlling her character, so I say so. She casts Magic Missile as several bolts of magic fly through the air and strike at this guy. Let's see here. It is 3 missiles, right?
Me a few times because I said
3 darts, yep. So
I
we'll
said,
do
look,
it 3
I think he's
times.
probably going to be a deep
For a
rotation
total
player.
of
You know,
11
I hope he
force
hangs on
damage as
for a
these
year or
mystical
two. I
bolts
think he'll
fly out of
probably
her
be around
hands.
a couple of European teams, but he
1,
might
2,
end up
3,
back in Europe.
and slam right
And this
into him there.
person loves sending that tweet back to me to say,
So
look at
I
Joe Ingles
pivoted and
now,
faced
you know?
this guy now.
And I'm so happy to be
Fantastic.
wrong about
Dimitri,
that because,
you're up, sir.
you know, Joe's not super athletic, he's not super quick, but he's got
So
an
I
incredible
will cast
basketball
a Toll the
IQ,
Dead on him.
and he really
Alrighty.
understands
That'll be a wisdom
how
save.
to play to his strengths.
He is not
You know,
wise at all.
he's a fantastic player.
He is
can
very
go
not
inside, run
wise.
that pick and roll beautifully with Rudy.
But he
steps out,
rolls
hits a three.
exactly a
He's
14,
versatile. He comes
even
off
with
the
his
bench
-2
when he
wisdom.
needs to.
Damage
So,
is inconsequential anyway. It's whatever.
Alright, our large ogre pulls his huge club off of his back and lumbers forward a step. You kill Bob! And he swings down as hard as he can to avenge his friend Bob the Ogre. Bob the Ogre, can we smash it? Bob the Ogre. No, he can't. That's an 11. That's an 11. So no, he cannot smash it. Okay, Varys, it is your turn.
Good stuff. JP Chunga does a great job with the podcast. By the way, you can download all the Roundball podcasts on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you'll find your.
I'm gonna move up in melee range on this guy.
Awesome.
He's going to be a guy that's going to be a mainstay for the Utah Jazz, and he's going to set 3-point, records and assist numbers, those kinds of things. But he is.
I think all of us have questions.
I think I'm gonna chance him. Pull out my, or put my shield away and two-handed sword.
Trying to distribute the basketball, trying to be a facilitator and get the guys the basketball. Try not to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that probably
So a 9 is just under his armor class of 11. Not quite gonna cut it. So he's not like he's a big target. So you do again, you hit him, but his furs and the thick hides he's wearing, you just can't quite get to flesh to do damage. Anything else?
We like Joe, but it was either cut Joe
Ashari.
I mean, cut someone else that had
around him so
had
we're flanking.
money, or cut Joe Ingles. So we had to.
So we're not using the flanking rules, but
we thank him very much for Joe Ingles because he's really made himself a home in this organization and with this basketball team.
I'm just gonna attack
all right, with your sword. First one misses, bouncing off of his hide armor. Second one, this time he sees it coming and he bats your sword away with his big, huge club, and he snarls at you. Ah, you killed Bob! Ah, he looks like he's crying a little bit. Huge ogre.
Like, what's your name then?
But impressive to see Joe.
Hey, Steve.
Certainly, I think this is when you say this about people. Sometimes it just you take.
Gardane, you're up.
He has found a home.
Sacred Flame.
Alrighty, another deck save.
And that makes him very, very valuable. Anytime you have a player.
Big whopping damage.
Fails his deck save and will take 2 radiant damage as you scorch his skin.
And then my bonus action, my hammer that magically disappeared, will reappear and smack him again.
Alright, you know what? Here, let's just draw it.
It's not going to hit either way, so.
That's a natural 1. It whiffs completely. No damage dealt there. Okay.
That's why it missed.
Okay, we're going for Toll the Dead again. For 3 whopping damage.
We'll go ahead and do that. It was technically Myra's turn, but we'll go ahead and just jump to you and
my bad.
Myra. Not a big deal. No worries. Another wisdom save, which he fails and takes the necrotic damage from your Toll the Dead. Alrighty. And then Myra's going to cast another Ray of Frost.
And that home stretch will come to a close. The Los Angeles Clippers after that. But hey, I'm getting ahead of myself. 1 game at a time.
Which will hit, dealing 6 cold damage as a little bit of frostbite begins to develop on the hide of the ogre. Dimitri, and which we already did, and now it is the ogre's turn. He lets out a howl of pain from the damage he's just taken. He turns around and swings his club at Varys this time. He said, "I avenge you, Bob, my love."
Oh God.
Don't want to imagine what that looks like.
It's too late. It's already in your head.
Ogres in love. Rolls a 24 to hit Varys, dealing 8 bludgeoning damage as he smacks you upside the head with his huge club.
Alright.
Tears streaming down his ugly face. It is your turn, Varys.
He's my soul, but
No, I'm gonna swing right back.
my best player.
Alright.
Oh.
I always said you're strong.
Okay, so 7 does not hit, unfortunately. Again, glancing off of his armor. No damage dealt there. Anything else?
If I move, he gets another attack, right?
So if you stay within melee, any square that is directly adjacent, you will not provoke an opportunity attack. But if you move out of melee, like over here, or here, or here, then he could potentially swing at you with an opportunity attack. So you can move anywhere so long as you are directly touching him still. But you can't move away. Unless you want to risk him swinging.
Well, here we go. After beating the Bucks last night,
But he could
No,
miss. Okay, so you'll stay. Ashari, you're up. 10 misses.
Come on, roll 20. Be nice.
17 hits. Roll that damage for me there as you cut into him. 9 more damage. You're whittling him down, but he's still standing. Gardane, you're up again, Mr. Dwarf.
I bet you can guess what I'm gonna do.
Sacred Flame! Another dex save. Rolls a 16, making his save. No damage dealt.
And then hammer time.
Hammer time, hammer time. That 16 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage for your spiritual weapon. So you clock him upside the head for 11 force damage. He stumbles a little bit, staggering like you knocked him for a loop there. His eyes kind of cross.
Oh, Steve.
Alrighty. It is Myra's turn. Same old song and dance for her, just another Ray of Frost.
With magic missiles, does she have to roll on the sorcerer's table?
She does. Thank you for reminding me. 1 cold damage here, though. And let's real quick roll on the wild magic table for her. See what happens. No, thank you for reminding me. I can't remember everything, you know. So she normally tells me when she needs to do that. So I appreciate the help there. So let me pull that up here. The Sorcerer's Wild Magic Table. Okay, so since you brought it up, you want to roll a D100 for me?
Yes, he is.
Sure, I will
Listen, they've
roll.
got other guys, like you said, who can score, but Jimmy Butler is really
30.
the head of the snake. He's
Okay,
the guy that
so
controls the tempo, plays at his own pace, is not afraid to go
alright,
in
yep,
there with
she
the big
moves.
man.
She
The
suddenly
defense
boop,
also right off the dribble
ends up over here.
So look for him to get
In a
lot of
flash,
pressure,
just
obviously, but, you know, he's
and that's where she shoots her Ray of Frost from.
so he's gonna be
And the
looking out
worst
for his
thing
teammates as
to
well.
have
Yes,
to end
on
up
the
doing.
season,
It's
just
true.
over 20 points a night, and he is an explosive player.
That
Watch
was
out.
great.
Should be a good one
That was
tonight
pretty great.
from the tip to the final buzzer.
Dimitri, you're up. The ogre looks like he's staggering. He's in a lot of pain.
Okay. We'll fire off a Toll the Dead again.
Ooh. 10 potential damage as he makes a wisdom saving throw, which he fails.
Yo.
You watch as the skin around his neck and face begins to necrotize, and he starts gasping for air. And he falls to one knee, but he's not dead. He looks like he is hanging by a literal thread. 1 hit point. It is his turn though, and in desperation, he's gonna make one last swing out towards Varys to try and avenge his fallen love.
It's 10:30.
But he misses, rolling at 11. It is Varys' turn. Let's see if he can finish this thing.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Get a $100 bonus when you open a MyStyle checking account. Details at
Yep.
NACU.com/.
So you can roll the damage if you want, but any amount will do. 10 damage is overkill. How do you finish off Steve the Ogre?
I am going to carve a V into his stomach and just let him explode all over the place.
Oh, gross. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens. With 2 swift movements, you cut down and then up, right across his belly. And it opens up, and you see as big old piles of blood and intestines just kind of pour out of the V-shaped cut that you just made. It's like,
I am behind you.
if you've ever watched one of those medical documentaries and like seen an actual C-section, it's like that, but just intestines and gore instead of a baby. So
And surprise, there's a baby!
Oh my gosh, Steve was a girl all along. No, we're not performing an abortion in our.
I don't know ogre anatomy, so.
No, they're both guys. And he falls to the ground though in a heap of his own gore and blood, and we're out of initiative. And it is 7 after 10, so we can pick it up. Let's make a little symbol here. We're gonna go with this little head here. Help me remember next time this little black head mark thing that looks tired that I put on your token. That means you have 1 level of exhaustion. Okay. All right. So we are out of initiative. Had 2 quick combat. And you've started. That was hour 6 of your journey towards the lair of Thousand Tooth, the gigantic crocodile. And yeah, we'll pick up there next time, which is going to be on February 27th, 2 weeks from today. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Right.
How's the XP situation?
So, do we want to do that now, or
I'm done.
wait till later? Let's see here.
I'm really close to leveling up. Which will be a total excuse to switching soap glasses.
Okay, so let's take a look here.
The way you guys bond in that process.
So you fought
Thinking more about each other, playing
2
for each
ogres.
other versus individually. How have you seen that really come into play in terms of your execution on the floor night in and night out?
I think guys are more happy with getting an assist and rather than getting a bucket now. So I think, that's always exciting, somebody celebrating somebody's highlight play, like the other night, Jason got the corner
Rats
shot,
aren't worth a lot.
Everybody on the bench helped him up. Everybody getting excited, Rudy block shots for dunks, little things like that. I think everybody just smiles.
I mean, got a magic item from it, so.
And you can certainly tell this team does like to play for each other.
Well, it's a feather, so maybe it's like magic flight for a short period of time. Hmm?
There we go. Let's salt.
How we doing?
Fabulous.
So this switch here.
Stay restless. The icon does the same. They are at
So that's 240 experience points each. Did you make it?
I think that does it. 2,700, right?
It takes more than talent to reach your
That's exactly as much as I needed.
Hey.
Yeah, how many points?
I had
240.
I'm actually just over.
I'm at 1790.
EXP each. I'll go ahead and add that to Myra's for her.
My corner is full.
Real quick. Now you don't get a level up until you take a long rest, just so you know. So you'll need to do that before you actually get to do the level up. But if you want to do like change a subclass or something, we can definitely talk about that this week and just go ahead and do it. You don't have to wait for the level up.
Are we at the same level then? You're 2773.
1 second, I'm trying to math because my
Games in, the box score was filled with 4 25-point scores.
Yes, I'm at 27.
Well, Myra is still just under, not quite to the next level. Just barely.
Yeah, she felt she was just behind us.
Yeah, a couple of you got some extra experience points because there were a couple of like small adventures that happened here and there.
Yeah, there was a small adventure together. We had a couple others.
And Mason, did you already add your experience points?
Yeah, I'm at 1790 total.
Alright, so you're a little bit further behind everybody. But that's somewhat to be expected considering when you joined.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no worries.
Alrighty. Cool. Any questions or concerns for you guys, or we're all set? Okay.
I think I'm good.
That was a fun session. Thanks
Had
for
a good
playing,
time.
Matt. Yeah, me too. Good to get back into the combat after heavy sessions, right? So.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that was kind of a hard one.